Robbo, Simo, Matteo.
All right, are you ready, Mav?
Let's do it.
Hey, I'm trying to live until I die. Come connect, you know it's a lewd state of mind. Yeah, talking traveling. If you wanna fly, fitness and finance, living a better life, keep it raw, no filter, living with no limit. Thank you for tuning in. Come on, let's get it.
Matteo Zappala.
Correct.
Did I get that correct?
Yes, you did.
Welcome to Lewd State of Mind.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for coming down on a lovely Sunday afternoon here in Melbourne.
Yeah, lovely weather today. Yeah,
You've been here before. This is not your first time in the studio, is it?
No, it's not.
Because you were famously part of the studio audience for a 50th, weren't you? With all the other geezers.
Yes.
Well, I say other geezers because you're not a geezer, but with the geezers.
Yeah, with the geezers who, probably are, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
You're proudly Italian, aren't you?
Yes, I'm proudly Italian. Proudly, actually from Sicily, or my parents are from Sicily. And when you actually go there, you look at it and you think, well, I'm not actually Italian. Italian is more of a broad thing. So each region has its own unique, language and culture. And so when I got to Sicily, the first time, I started to realise very quickly that I actually wasn't Italian. I'm not even Australian. I'm not even Italian. It was sort of somewhere in between. And then I realised that, well, I'm not really speaking Italian to them. I'm actually speaking this strange regional language or dialect to a lot of people. And the thing is, they're saying to me, this is like, we haven't heard this in 50 years. It's slowly been phased out. So that was quite interesting. It was a bit of a challenge in my head thinking, but I thought I was speaking Italian, but I actually wasn't. I was probably speaking more of a mixture of a little bit of English, a little bit of Italian. And
Yep. So your parents are from Sicily?
Yes, correct, yeah.
When did they immigrate to Australia?
Okay, so my dad came here in 1960. In Sicily at the time, there was just poverty. So he had, like everybody else, they left. The town where he came from was okay, but there was no work.
What was the town called?
Tre Castagni. So Tre Castagni in...
Hey, I'll stop you there. Mav, can you pull up a map of Sicily, please, mate? Awesome.
If you can, yeah.
We'll get him. Yeah. This is what Mav's for. That's what he's doing out the back. That's what he's there for.
Yeah.
So we'll get a map up and pull your little hometown.
Yep.
So 1960.
Yeah, 1960.
He jumped on a boat.
Yep.
Do you remember the conversations about his trip over? He's obviously told you about it.
Yeah, so if you go to where Catania is, right?
To the right-hand side there, Mav.
Yeah,
yeah.
to the right-hand
Zoom in
side,
on
yeah.
that.
Right, zoom in, right? See where that town, it's called Mascalucia, right there, yep. You see where Tremesteri Eterno, yep. Now, sort of scroll it up a bit.
Other way.
Hang on, I'm just trying to... It's there, I know it's there, but I'm just trying to find it. If I had a Google map, I feel like moving it myself. All right, so you see where San Giovanni la Punta is and Trimestere? It's just in the middle of that, a little bit north. Up. Oh, shit, where is it? Can you, oh yeah, I'm getting there. Can you just open it up just a little bit more? Where is it? Close it.
Zoom it in, yeah.
Right, zoom it in. Go a little bit north. Just actually write in, right, Tre, which is T-R-E. There, see where it is? Tre Castagni, the top one. Yeah, you see that one there? Yeah, that's it there.
We weren't far away, were we?
No, so it's right there. So if you zoom in, you see that little brown and shaded spot? Right?
Yeah.
That's the actual town, the old centre and the old town. And you see that place, Bar Sport? That's where I used to go and get my coffee every day. I used to love it. Look at that, €1 for an espresso.
That's
€1.
oh, it says actually 1 to 10 euros, didn't it?
Yeah, but
Jeez, because the euro is what 60 cents at the moment or something
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like.
yeah, but €10, you get yourself a. You see that where we are right now, that church is very significant in my dad's upbringing and life, and every year they have. I'll explain that they have a festival every year, and it's just absolutely amazing.
How old was your dad when he left?
30.
Yeah. Wife?
No. He came as a single man. So he came as a single man in 1960. His sister already lived here. Is this? That's not recording.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
recording, yeah.
Yeah. So he came in. 1960. His sister was already living here, married, and so he got off the boat at Port Melbourne, and it was him and his brother. His older brother would have been just maybe a couple of years older. And they moved to, it was a halfway house in Bentley for a few days. Then they moved to Fentry Gully out in the sticks.
Well, what did they go out there for? Was it work? Did that drive their decision to go out there?
No, because that's where his sister lived
Oh, of course.
at the time.
Yeah.
So his sister lived there, and I said, so what was Fentry Gully like in 1960? He goes, it was just bush. There was nothing there.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then they moved between, there was like halfway houses in Mordialloc. And that was quite interesting because in the end, that's where I ended up living. So,
Halfway houses, we're talking like boarding houses, aren't we?
yeah. Like boarding houses where a lot of other, Italian, Calabrese, Siciliani men would go and live, to work pretty much. So then in 1965, he, after working here for 5 years, and they were working in fruit shops and factories and like anything they can do. Then in 1965, he decided there was a bit of an arranged marriage situation. So his brother, or one of his brothers that was in Italy, he decided, well, they said, there's a lady here that wants to get married, and they arranged it for him.
For the brother?
No, for...
Not your dad, for the brother?
Yeah, for my dad, yeah.
So the Sicilian lady came out from Sicily to marry your dad's brother?
Yeah, no, to marry, it was my mother. To marry my father.
Right, sorry, you got me confused.
Yeah. So, all right,
so
sorry
so your mum is Sicilian?
Yep. And my mum and dad was an arranged marriage.
Wow.
Yeah. So
was that par for the course back then?
Yeah, it was quite normal.
Yeah.
It was quite normal. We kept on asking our mother, if you didn't like Dad, would you have to have married him? And my mum never really gave me a honest, clear answer.
No.
At the time.
Well, you imagine the alternative to that, your dad would have married an Australian girl, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or he would have married an Italian girl in Australia.
Yeah.
Maybe. So you don't know. You don't know where life takes you. So, but in 1965, when he got married with Mum, they had the choice: move to northern Italy, or a place like Germany or Belgium, or because they were short of workers at the time, or come back to Australia.
So your dad went back to Italy.
Yep.
To marry Mum.
Yep.
And then there was a crossroad then.
Correct.
Like you either go to Europe and work, or you go back to Australia.
Correct. Yeah.
Was it a no? Do you remember the conversation? Remember your dad saying it was a no-brainer? What was going through his head? Do you know?
No. I
never had that conversation with him?
No. I'm just assuming that he came back to Australia because he just got used to it.
He'd been here 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're pretty much ingrained after 5 years, aren't you? Ingrained in the culture. I'm sure he's living his best life too, mate, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was working, and he was just like, it's back in those days. A lot of the immigrants, they didn't think about going out and
No?
no. He used to always mention to me that, like, you remember all the Australians, used to be 6 o'clock closing at the pubs.
Oh, that's the heyday, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they used to rush out of work at 4:30 and rush down to the pub and 6 o'clock, and get themselves into it. When pretty much all the immigrants used to just stay back and just work overtime. Then they go and work a second job somewhere else.
Yeah.
Between 6 and maybe 9 o'clock, and then do it all again the next day.
Was your dad sending back money to your family, or was that the culture back then?
No, because the only people he left behind was it was his two older brothers who already had been got married.
Yeah.
They already got married and started having kids. It was just his mother, and a couple of his sisters that were still single, who ended up getting married anyway. So they weren't really, really struggling in poverty. They just didn't have work.
Yeah.
Where my dad's oldest brothers, they moved to northern Italy and worked. And then they moved back to Sicily later with their wives at the time. But yeah, that was it. And then when Dad got back here, they already had, in 1965, they got married, came straight back on a month-long trip on a ship. And by then, Dad was, and his sister, and the sister's husband, who were cousins, by the way, because that's what happened in those days,
Yeah.
A cousin married a cousin.
Second or third cousin wasn't.
No, first cousin.
Wow.
First cousin. I didn't know this until many years later.
There's a lot of cultures where that was the norm.
Yeah.
And especially in these small towns.
Yes.
So
So
you can't fathom it today, though, can you?
yeah, so then Dad moved. They all moved into a. They were in like a fruit shop. They had a fruit shop business at the time. It was in High Street, Thornbury, and sometimes if ever I'm in the area, I'll drive down High Street and I'll actually stop out the front and watch it being changed hands over the years, because it's no longer a fruit shop. It used to be a doctor's surgery for a while, and then now it's a bar. And I'm like, I've got to go there one day and just go there and have a drink, just to say that I grew up in the back of this. So I was born 1966 at the Queen Vic Hospital in Latrobe Street in Melbourne.
Married in 65, you arrive in 66.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
They weren't fucking around, were they?
No.
Well,
No.
Excuse the...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like 11 months.
Just mark that as an edit, Mev.
Yeah.
They weren't wasting any time, were they?
No.
Getting straight into it.
Well, if this was any wasting time, then 11 months later, my sister comes along.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really, they weren't stuffing around.
That's how they do it in the old days, just bang them out. So just one sibling?
Yeah, no.
Just the two of you?
Yeah,
just two kids?
Yeah, just the two kids, yeah.
Which is a small family for Italian.
Yes.
Hey, before I forget, I've got to ask you the burning question. What is it about Italians and fruit shops and markets and fruit stalls? What is that?
Okay, so at the time, I think it was the most simple business to get into at the time. That's what I'm sort of looking into it, and I'm thinking, well, because at the time they used to go to the Queen Vic Market it used to be the Queen Vic Market where they buy their wholesale produce.
And then take it to their shop.
Yeah. So it was cash, buy stuff in cash, take it back to your fruit shop, sell in cash. That was it. Like, a lot of the people that sold the wholesale at the Queen Vic Market were Italian anyway. And so it was pretty simple.
Any talk of mafia involved?
Oh, yeah, there was. Yeah, Dad talked about that.
Yeah. He had first-hand experience with them, or?
Yeah, he came back. It was in the 60s. There was a notorious crime family that apparently, some people were just trying to make a little bit of extra money. They would be there, the wholesalers, where they would sell produce for the growers, and then they go and sell it, and then they go and gamble the money, and all that sort of stuff. And then there was a bomb in a truck or something back in the 60s. And then you fast forward to all the
gangland stuff
in the 90s.
Yeah,
and it was the same families.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't mention the names, but I do know.
Well, Melbourne's got a rich history of gang violence, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it was, and Dad would, be watching he'd be in the 90s, and he'd be watching the news, and he'd see all this stuff on TV, and he'd be saying, "Oh, wow, like I remember his dad," stuff like that. I'm like, wow. So Dad, because he came from a place that was, there was a reason that, he came here, there was work, and I think that ugly word, the mafia, was actually stifling growth in Sicily.
Here you talk in Sicily.
Yeah, in Sicily.
Yeah. Yep.
And so that's why they all left, or a lot of people left, and they all came here where they can just flourish, make
free
money.
Trade, make money.
Yeah,
exactly.
without people looking for kickbacks and and all that sort of stuff. So it was that, and then my sister comes along, and then in 1967 they decided to buy a house and land package in Cheltenham for, guess how much?
15,000.
Yes.
That was a good guess.
It was
a good guess. We didn't talk about that prior either. Just so
it was like,
just so people know. It's like,
well, it was actually
$15,000.
Well, it was actually less.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Was it a quarter of an acre? Was it like a full parcel of land? Quarter of an acre? You know what quarter of an acre?
Yeah. No, it actually wasn't. So it was actually 60 feet by 145 feet.
Whatever that works.
So that is, it's quite wide, and
it's still a big section.
Oh, yeah.
Like the old school section.
Yes.
Exactly. Which is what they do nowadays, is they take those sections, rip the houses off, and put as many dwellings on them as they possibly can, based on the area.
Yeah. So the area where that house is, you can't, the house, we sold it years ago, and you can't do anything with it. You can't put two on it.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Is it one of those odd sizes that you can't?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's amazing, when you drive down my mum and dad's street, or where they used to live, there's hardly any cars on the street.
Yeah.
Because there isn't dual occupancies around.
Yeah.
There's just single occupancies. And
that's few and far between now, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's all developers are doing, is just looking for those pockets of land. So.
Yeah.
Hey, man, before we go any further, I just wanted to ask you, I mean, today we've talked prior.
Yep.
We've had a couple of discussions about you being here today.
Yep.
Can you explain to me what you want to achieve today?
Okay, so I'm today. This is for me. It's just I've never been on camera before, to actually talk. A lot of people around me say, "Oh, I talk quite a bit." Matteo talks a lot, but then is what they don't.
That's not a bad thing, though, is it?
No.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
Yeah.
So, but when I've never actually talked or been interviewed by anybody, and, for public speaking, I'm not that good either. So...
Well, it's probably because you haven't done a lot of it. Would
no.
I be wrong?
Correct,
exactly.
yeah.
It's the same with anything. I mean, if you're doing something constantly, you eventually get pretty good at it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying
today.
to do. Keep doing this, and then hopefully I'll get better and better at it. But
and so there's that, and also a bit of I want to start talking about the struggles with mental health that I've had.
Yeah.
Not just in the last few years, but also since I was a child. Going to school. What a struggle that was, especially coming from an Italian background, because you were, I still remember the first day I started school, in grade prep. It was, get to school, and I had someone speaking to me in Italian who spoke English as well. It was one of my dad's friends, and, this is what you do. And at that point, I didn't speak any English at all.
Well, that was going to be my first question, was that did you speak English and Italian, or just Italian or English
No.
in the home?
No, the only thing I spoke at home at the time was the Sicilian regional language, which I thought it was Italian, but it wasn't. And my mum and dad and all their friends, that we used to do a lot of visiting, and people used to come over to our place, and we used to go to other people's houses, and that's all we ever spoke. So
could your parents talk to other Italians from different areas?
Yes.
And still have a comprehension or a comprehensive discussion and understand each other?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, they could, because the majority of the Italian immigrants that came to Melbourne at the time were pretty much from the south. So it was
there a reason for that? Do you know?
Yeah, it was all right. The reason for that, it was because from Naples down, it was a lot of poverty, and it was pretty much. I mean, I can go into it. The history of it, which I've actually looked at it, is that in 1860 they actually unified Italy as one country, and at the detriment of the South. And the South became poor, the North became rich. All the industries got moved to the North, and all of that, all their gold reserves from the South, the Kingdom of Two Sicilies, got moved to the North. So then the South became poor, then it became riddled with crime, corruption, all of that, thus that a lot of the immigrants that have gone to different parts of the world, not just Australia, have been from the South. So every time we went to someone's house to visit, they were either from Sicily or Calabria, and occasionally from Naples. So we all sort of roughly understood what we were saying.
Yep.
With each other.
Well, see, let's go back to that first day at school. I'm actually surprised that you have this vivid memory, because I certainly don't, of my first day at school. It's definitely gone from my data bank.
And then I get to school. My mum fixes me food and sandwiches and all sorts of stuff. And it's like everything. I used to have salami and cheese and all of that when all the Aussies would have
Vegemite.
Yeah, and all it was hundreds of thousands with butter and all that. So, and all of that.
That sounds so disgusting, doesn't it?
So then I started to realise quite quickly, I'm not like everybody else here. I'm completely different. I don't look like them because they're all, most of them are white, blonde.
Was that your first realisation? Was that
it was
the day you understood that you weren't the same as all these other kids?
No. And then and then it sort of started to become a bit of a blank, especially when all the bullying started.
Did it start immediately?
It sort of started more in probably the years after. I think grade prep, everyone's just pretty much just growing up. They're not really switched on. But when, because that was really, I think, around the first time when you started getting a lot of kids from immigrant backgrounds, pretty much Italian, Greek, who were actually starting school. And so then...
So you weren't the only one. That's the thing, is you're from your point of view, you understand that you're different.
Yeah.
But then you're understanding who's different along with you.
Yeah,
and
correct.
Then you sort of stick with that tribe, that clique, that familiarity.
Yeah,
is
you
that
do.
What you did? Is that what you did? So you look for other immigrant Italian kids.
You see, the thing was, where I grew up, it was pretty much, let's just say, a white Anglo-Saxon area.
Where was that? That was in Cheltenham.
Yeah, in Cheltenham. Yeah. So
that hasn't changed, to be quite honest.
No. So so where I went to school, there was a handful of kids that were from either Italian or Greek backgrounds. So, but then, in year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, because I started to learn how to, play footy and speak English and, and all of that sort of thing, then I would, that's when all the bullying started.
Why do you think that was the case?
Because I reacted to it. Because I would be standing up for myself. I would be, I'd just do the thing where, especially when the bullying back then, it wasn't just, verbal bullying. It was like a lot of it was like, these kids are different. Yeah, let's just take them on. It was all that sort of stuff. So I would react, and I never forget. I go back to grade prep. I go back to grade prep, and because I struggled to speak English at the time, I'd put my hands up at school, right, to go to the toilet, or I'd be scared to put my hand up to go to school, right, to go to the toilet, because I just didn't know how to ask to go to the toilet. So I'd sit there. It was mostly in grade prep, and I never forget this, where I'd saw myself, and it was fucking hard. It was hard.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
Yeah, it was hard because I just didn't know how to ask to go to the toilet. And then they'd have to ring up my mum, who didn't speak any English whatsoever, to come and pick me up from school, and she didn't understand what was going on. And that was really hard. So
was there anybody in the school that could translate for
No.
your mum? So your mum's got this immediate barrier,
yeah,
where she can't understand what's going on with her kid,
no.
and it's not been explained to her by the school. Did the school do you think the school understood what was happening to you and why? Was it communicated, or was it just something that just happened and then it wasn't dealt with?
No, it was something that happened and never got dealt with, because it was like it was just put in the too hard basket.
Well, look, I can imagine back then with it's all right, take your time.
Yeah.
With those sort of language barriers, as you say, it's too hard to deal with, and it was different. It was like the culture and the systems and that back then were completely different to what they are today. What you wouldn't hope, that the school systems and the internal backups and all these.
No, there was none.
Yeah.
I can't remember. So this is the thing. It all became, and this is when all the teasing started and the bullying started, because I'd react to it. I was called all sorts of stuff, especially, oh God, I never forget, my first ever teasing word was skunk, because I used to smell all the time because of the soiling. And then, like my mum had to deal with it, and then my dad would get home from work, and I can't even remember, because my dad at the time, because back in those days, it was, the mum's job was on the inside, taking care of the family, cooking, cleaning, all of that stuff. And Dad would just go to work. He'd work as many hours as he possibly could. And then he'd come home from work and he'd expect a meal on the table, because that was the way it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then like, everything else in between was dealt with by Mum. Now, Mum, the thing with, I know more about my dad than I do my mum. Because
why do you think that is?
Because Dad used to always talk to me. He used to always say this is where he was from, all that, that town there, where he was from, the people that he knew.
In Italian or English? Did your dad?
No, he spoke to me we always spoke in Italian.
So did your parents learn English?
Yeah, Dad only learned English as a necessity from when he at work, but they didn't really go out and learn how to speak proper English.
But after a period of time, you're gonna pick up.
Yeah,
you're gonna pick up enough to get through, aren't you?
Yeah.
Without trying.
Yeah. Where Mum, in the end, she was a bit sneaky. She never really said much, but she actually picked up English better than Dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So she knew exactly what's being said.
Yeah. But she'd actually sit there and listen to it. Where I found out this when I was in my 20s, I was like overseas with her, and I'd
Yeah.
be speaking to her in English, and then I'd be speaking, and she'd be answering me absolutely perfectly.
Just out of the blue.
Yeah.
That's insane. Oh, good on her.
Yeah,
Good on her.
yeah. So Dad told me about his life mostly. Mum talked about her father quite a bit. Very proud of her father. He was a carabinieri. You know, they'll really... See, Mum came from a lot better background. Like, they were good family. They were the model citizens of Italy in 1930, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Good family. The father was a carabinieri, you know.
Dress well, dress to the nines.
Yep.
Yeah, I can.
Always dress well and all of that, and always... Well, I'd say Mum actually spoke Italian. Didn't speak the dialect.
The Sicilian dialect that you're talking about. So true.
Yeah, she actually spoke proper Italian.
Italian.
But is when she came to Australia, she did what she was supposed to be doing and take care of Dad, who spoke the other language. See, that was the other. So Mum would always have to deal with, and I never forget, there was an incident where I was sick. And I remember back in those days, you know, all these notes had come from home saying, oh, you know, was my kid sick and he or she's got to stay in the class over lunchtime, right? So there's my dad. He wrote a note in Italian, grade 3 Italian, mind you. So it was almost bordering on being illiterate. And then that note got translated, and after a week... I stayed inside when I was actually okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it was misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was after 1 week. And I never forget, after this 1 week, I was sick on that particular day. But then after a week, I stayed in for lunch, just whatever, and I was fine. I was perfectly fine. But the bullying then, because I was the only kid at the time, it was Greek or Italian. Like, yes, there were some other Italian kids at the time. Yes, all of that. But they used to just walk away from a lot of stuff, where I wouldn't.
Do you think that was, in hindsight, do you think that was the best way to handle it? You're sticking up for yourself.
Yeah.
Are you fisticuffs?
Yeah, well, I was
out?
then. I started doing martial arts and all that sort of stuff. And I never forget when I was at home, I was about 12 or 13 years old. And there was this kid down the street who used to always pick on my sister. So, you know, he was just a bully straight up. But that was the thing. Like a lot of these kids that were bullies, I often sort of think now, it obviously came from somewhere, and it would have been their parents, possibly. And at the time, he was bullying my sister. Like, my sister had enough. I had enough. I went out, and he was just constantly doing it, and I just clobbered him. I put him on the ground. He literally fell backwards. I think I put him in hospital. But fractured.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So you did the job right.
I did it absolutely properly. To the point where his mum came running out of her house, come to us and saying how violent we were and they were going to call the police and all that sort of stuff. And then we actually explained to him through somebody else that, but your son's not stopping. He's just continuing.
Yeah.
And then it stopped. And I thought then that was probably the right thing to do. Right? And it stopped completely. There was we didn't hear boo out of him from that point on.
Well, they say violence is not the answer, don't they?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. I mean, because we don't condone
No.
that type of behaviour.
No.
You don't want to. Well, see, the thing is that I would not want to see my son in that situation. And it would be hard for me to accept that he was dealing with that on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and not being able to cope or manage it or find a solution out of him. And you dealt with that for how many years?
Oh, it was almost daily.
Yeah.
Daily after X amount of years, and and everything like that. And so there was, as I was growing up, there was kids down the street that would do this. And God, I never forget, there was one particular guy, Bradley, his name was.
You want to shout out to Bradley?
Yeah, right. Shout out to Brad. I remember.
Oh,
I still remember his name.
We might have to snip that out. We'll get done for
Yeah.
defamation.
Yeah, correct.
Well, half the story's true. It's all right.
So he was one of them and everything like that. But but kids that were growing up, they would move out. And then, eventually the people that moved in were some Greek kids. So that sort of worked because we were playing soccer out the front and all that sort of stuff. And I remember Bradley at the time, he would be doing all this stuff. Then he disappeared completely. And then, when I was 21, I saw him at a party one night. And
had he changed? Was he just the same?
Yeah, he comes up to me and he said, oh, Matteo. They used to call me Matteo at the time, He goes, oh, Matteo, sorry about all that, He actually apologised to me.
Wow. It doesn't happen very often, does it?
No. Because he was a school teacher, you see.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
he's having to deal with that stuff on a daily basis. Well, good on him. Good on him for understanding exactly what he had done as a child and then taking responsibility for it.
Yeah. I was like that. Right, these are all the little things that stuck in my head. But the underlying issue is that I always struggled with bullying, always struggle with it every day.
Do you think that's affected you to this day?
It has.
In your day to day.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
That's got to be hard for me. That's hard to comprehend. That's hard to grasp. That because obviously I haven't experienced anything like that. But I remember this stuff that happened to me as a child, and I look back on them and I go, okay, maybe I understand or don't understand why that happened or what happened. But I think it's just faded from my memory as something that's been in my past, and I don't let it affect the future or me. But with your situation, these memories, these feelings, these reactions that you've had from a young age have stayed with you through your adult life.
Yeah,
which is it's I hate to use the word. It's sad that it's affecting you to this day.
Yeah.
In the way that it is.
Yeah. So there was a couple of things. I used to stutter quite a bit as a child. Because there was this, the other bit in grade prep and grade 1, we used to soil myself, but then I used to stutter too. Right, where a lot of people these days that know me quite well can't grasp that I used to stutter because the amount of talking that I do. Right?
Well, I think you've talked yourself out of the stutter by the sounds of it.
Yeah,
which is a good thing, isn't it?
But one of my best mates did pick it up. He actually did pick it up.
That you'd had a stutter or that you
Yeah. Like he actually picked it up.
Yep.
So this is why I sort of tend to sometimes interrupt people because I've got something to say and I've got to say it.
Yeah, before the thought goes.
Yeah. Or else I just can't.
Yeah. I find that hard not to talk over people as well too.
Yeah, so I've got to really try. And that's one of my things that I just constantly work on. I just leave them alone. Just let them finish their conversation, and all of that. So... Right, so I used to stutter, and this was more in my sort of, your grade 4, 5, 6, year 7. And I remember at the time, I went to speech therapy, and because...
Do you remember who organised that? Was it the school or was it your mum?
No, it was a school.
It was a school, yeah?
Yeah, it was a school.
Did they actually understand what was going on with you at that point?
No.
The school had no idea about the bullying?
No.
No?
They would... The school, it was like, let's just take care of the, it's like bullying it in the workplace because that's something I'll get to now.
Yeah.
Like eventually.
Yep.
they always like to take care of the victim because it's a lot easier than actually taking care of the what's the word for it? The person who's actually
What's the problem? Isn't it? Yeah.
right. So this is something I think in society in general and workplaces actually struggle to deal with. They still haven't worked out how to deal with the person who's actually doing the bullying in the first place. Right? They still haven't worked it out. This is what I'm looking at the moment, but that's something I'll get into. So, yes, at the time, I was stuttering. I was studying quite a bit. They sent me to speech therapy, and then they sent me to the Royal Children's Hospital, take me some tablets. And
Do you think the stuttering was you reacting to the bullet?
Yes, yeah, possibly.
You can see how that would be a physiological response to the stress
but then
that you were experiencing at that point.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And so that was, and with the stuttering, they used to, all these other little forms of teasing started up. Because at the time, in the 70s, I don't know if you'd remember this, there used to be a band that was like a one-hit wonder that used to sing this song called My Sharona.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, you remember that?
Yeah.
And they used to say, my Sharona. That was like a bit of, you know. And that's what they used to call me, my Sharona.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Kids are assholes, aren't they?
Yeah, they are,
They can be completely fucked. They can be complete assholes.
And that was something I'll never forget.
No, you're never going to forget that song in your life, are you?
No. So then I'd, for some reason, I got through. So I studied probably quite a bit. Probably was it right up until my I was 18, 19.
Oh, well, that's
20. And it was very difficult because at that time I was starting to go out and enjoy life and whatever. And that was quite a difficult thing because at the time I'm trying to go out and trying to meet girls, it was, like everyone else does.
Of course.
So for me to approach anybody was an effort and a half because I knew if I didn't get it right, I'd be stuttering. And a lot of the time, what can I say? Some of the bitches that just walk off, So, and I'm thinking, I can't be that ugly. I think I'm a good looking bloke, know. So, then I can't put a time on it. I can't remember. I think somewhere between, I think I was about 21. I went overseas for the first time, but I went with my mother, and it was more of a discovery after being born here. I'd never been there, so it was more of a discovery thing. So somewhere between there and when I went overseas I was about 25, 6 or something, is when the stuttering sort of
dissipated.
Yeah. Right. And
do you remember it happening?
No.
Do you remember it was just a realization that one day I'm not doing it?
Yeah. It was like, because when I went overseas when I was 26, I did something that I'd never done before. I was at home, always looked after. I was, Mum was always looking after me still, even in my 20s.
Well, that's standard for Italian families,
it was, it was.
That's part for the course.
So, and then I went overseas. I stayed in backpacking hostels and I did something completely out of my... And that's when I sort of started to... and then I started doing, rave parties and things like that. And,
good on you.
Yeah, they were, and that sort of stuck with me up until now, to the disgust of my children, who think
old man's a raver. Way back.
Yeah, you're right. They hate it. So, and it all sort of stopped, and then, and then because of my confidence started to build up a lot more.
Yeah, it would do, wouldn't it?
Then all of that sort of stopped, and like I went overseas a few times, and I was like skiing overseas. I went overseas almost every year for about 4 or 5 years, Canada, and I skied in Italy as well. But that was all a part and parcel of my confidence getting more and more and more. And that's when I met, I sort of roughly met my wife when I was in my early 30s. and that's when we got married. We were about mid-30s or something like that.
Cool. Hey, let's hold that thought. We're going to take a short break.
Okay.
This podcast is brought to you by Holy Shirt Australia. Holy Shirt Australia are 100% online. They're Australia's largest no minimum custom print and embroidery company. All their services are completed in-house and they can deliver all orders promptly and professionally. They like to keep it simple and straightforward, so they offer cool stuff that can be custom printed or embroidered to your liking. They have an easy-to-use online designer to build your custom apparel from the comfort of your home or office. They offer pricing that reflects your individual order, and remember, they are no minimum on all their products. They deliver what the customer expects when they expect it. They've got over 1,500 products ready for you to custom print or embroider today, right now. So head to holyshirt.com.au for all your custom clothing requirements.
Yeah, look, Macron's my favourite French. He's my favourite president at the moment in the world. Because,
oh, you like him because he's not getting engaged in that fucking war of Trump's?
Yeah, and also he's he's married. Well, he's got a partner to an older woman, about 10 years older, and like he must have said something as he was leaving that plane, and she clobbered him. You know? He must have said something or done something wrong, and bang, he got a backhander.
Yeah, just because you're the fucking president doesn't mean...
And I thought that was like, yeah, great. You know, can you imagine Melania doing a backhander on Trump?
Oh, no, fuck.
Right? It'd be all the security, all the securities would just be wrestling her to the ground.
Wow. Yeah.
But she did it, and I thought, you know what, good on her.
Yep.
And probably every other woman in the world probably thought exactly the same thing.
She probably got a bit of a word to, though, after. I think she probably got a talking to after. It's like, don't do that again.
Yeah, don't
do that again.
But, that's, for me, that's they'll probably go home and they've got a proper, real relationship.
Of course.
It's not.
You'd want to hope, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You want to hope, but I mean, having a job like that, I'm sure it puts stresses on the relationship.
He probably goes home and cooks all the time, because that's his job, and that's what he has to do.
Exactly. Hey, how do you think that first segment went? Are you comfortable? You happy with the way things are going? Yeah. Well, as long as you're comfortable, you got yourself a nice whiskey there now. It's a Symphony #1 from Tasmania. My lovely wife brought that back from a recent work trip. So I've just explained to everybody that apparently now I'm 50, I'm a whiskey guy. So when you turn 50, for some reason everybody thinks you drink whiskey. So at my 50th, 4 years ago, I got a lot of whiskey, but now I've figured it out. Because I struggled there for a bit because I'd come from gin. I was always a gin guy. I struggled with the whiskey because it just the harshness of it. And I'm a Japanese whiskey guy, which is it's par for course for me, obviously, with my my love for Japan. So it's just I like Japanese whiskeys. That's where I'm at. But I'll take this. I'll drink this. Yeah, I'm not gonna kick it out of bed for farting. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I've gone from with alcohol. I didn't really drink as a as a teenager because I remember back then all the kids that went to parties and they got themselves smashed all the time. And I'm thinking that's just not me.
But your culture dictates that
food.
But you have a glass of wine with dinner, and it's not. You don't make a pig of yourselves, do you?
No. I remember when I was in my early teens, we'd have a glass of lemonade with a bit of wine in it. But it didn't mean I became a raging alcoholic. Now,
well, you could have.
Yeah,
you could have gone either way.
But but we do exactly the same thing with our kids.
Yeah.
And we sort of encourage it. Like, we don't sort of say, like, even to my youngest, and she's only 16. We'll actually encourage, taste this or taste that.
Try it, yeah.
Right, and she goes, I don't like that. Where my son, he's at uni and he's, cool and stuff, got long hair and, and everything like that. He works in the old Union building. And
so you say he's nothing like his dad?
Oh, yeah, he just too cool,
He's too cool.
and I try and be cool.
Yeah.
He goes, "You got no idea." All right. He actually told me I got no idea, you know. So I think with my son, I think it's not too bad. I think he's done really well for himself, especially when, like, he came back from overseas and he goes, "Oh, you know, I'm having some people over." I go, "Oh, okay." And he says people, you know, not male, female, whatever, just people.
Yeah.
And I'm going, "Oh, okay, yeah, no problem."
Well, that's probably the correct term these days.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah, it is, yeah. So I'm thinking, oh, yeah, that's great. You know, gonna have some people over and everything. Yeah, great. And then, you know, people start arriving. Oh, yeah. And then everyone says, "Matteo, just stay out of his way. Stay upstairs, right?" You know, like and everything. And
In your own home.
Yeah, in my own house that I own with my money, you know, like, you know. Go, all right, yeah, okay, no problem. So I did. And I'm staying upstairs, and then there's a whole crowd. I'm just hearing a lot of female voices there, you know, like, you know, what's going on. So all these friends from uni, we're all pretty much all female.
Oh, all female. So it's got a female cohort going on.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So
ladies, man.
Yep. So I went downstairs and I had a bit of a look. Oh, yeah, okay. I just went to the fridge just to get something I didn't even want to get. You know, it was just like getting it. I go upstairs and I'm thinking, God, he's got, oh, wow. And then he cooked for them all, and then I'm thinking to myself, you know, one of them has got to be for him. Like,
oh, the chicks love that, don't they?
You know, like.
They love it when a man takes charge.
Yeah. And he's got really long hair. So one of the photos that I sent to you, that's my son.
You can find that one, Mav. We'll pop that up there. Yeah.
And
So two children like your dad, like your mum and dad.
Yeah.
You've only got 2 kids?
Nah, 3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah. The last one was probably like in our 40s. We were in our mid 40s.
Wow. Yeah. That is pretty late, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're both
change the macro, mate.
Yeah. So that's my son that looks very uninterested when this is just before he went overseas, and
he's a good-looking rooster, isn't he? That hair, I think the hair says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. He's had long hair all his life.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we encouraged it, but I just don't like that fluff. Like, you know,
you're talking about on his lip.
Yeah, he's trying to grow that. And I said, and he said, "Oh, you know, I've got lots of." I said, "Yeah, that's the way I was like. I've still got nothing. Where other people, you can watch their beard grow overnight."
It's insane.
That's my my youngest. She's my favourite.
So how old is she?
16.
What? That's jeez.
So she's our last one.
You're 40, you say you're 45, 44, 45.
Yeah, 40. I was 43. My wife was 45.
Yeah. That's because you think about pregnancies that late, because anything after 37 they class as a geriatric pregnancy. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
So 45, that's pretty good to get one past the goalpost.
Yeah, and it was like, and at the time, I was at that age where I'm having my, you know, second wind going out all the time, and she goes, "I've got to talk to you upstairs." All right? And I'm thinking, oh, shit, she's going to tell me to piss off. You know?
Oh, really? You were thinking that?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. She goes, "Oh, I'm pregnant." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And Will was starting to doing stuff again. Like, you know, go on holidays and...
Fuck, some females are going through perimenopause at that point in their life at 45.
Yeah, that's my wife.
It's a lovely wife. Shout out to her,
Kathy.
Kathy.
Yeah,
I've never met Kathy.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get her out. I've been trying. She's a homebody.
Yeah, I can understand that.
All right, so we're.
But you can tell by the photo, right there.
Yeah. That's our cat. Well, that's one of our cats. It's Kyoto.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's our second cat. I thought I'd throw that in.
You did send a lot of photos.
Yeah. That photo there is our first cat.
And so, but you've got another son or another daughter?
Daughter. Right.
You got that one, Mav? We can't leave the other daughter out.
No, that's my son. Like when he was and that's my sister. That's in Sicily.
I could tell that.
Yeah.
I could tell. That's not the Great Ocean Road.
No, it's not the Great Ocean Road. That thing, that structure behind them, it's like it's a castle.
Change that macro, mate. So it's on the, yeah, there you go. Good work.
I haven't got a photo of I think I've got
Did you leave your other daughter out?
Yeah, I think I might have.
Dude.
Yeah, so
I've Mav's screaming, you did. You
yeah,
did.
so
What's your other daughter's name?
Natalia.
So Natalia, your son's name's
Joseph,
and your younger daughter is
Sophia.
Yeah.
And that's my sister, who born and bred here. Went to Mentone Girls Secondary and everything. Grew up in Melbourne, all of that. She went on a trip to Italy, and she met some young, handsome gentleman there who was actually a friend of mine. and she got married. She stayed there.
Wow.
So that spot there the town's called Agi Castello, and that thing in the background is a castle, which is the translation for Castello. And what the Americans during World War II actually bombed it because they thought it was a strategic site.
Oh, of course they would, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and so, and when I went there I've been there a few times, like my recent trips, but just my recent trip, I actually went there, walked upstairs, had a bit of a look around. There's a couple of guys there. They're running the place. You know, they're showing tourists around and all that sort of stuff. And one of them, he goes, like, I started talking to him in my sort of dialect. Then it sort of didn't sound right. So it's a Sicilian dialect, but I speak with an Australian accent.
Is it fluent, though?
It's fluent, yeah. It's very fluent. So I could actually be understood to what I'm saying, but I've got to be speaking in that particular language.
Yeah.
So then I'm talking to one of them, and he goes, so where are you from? I said, I'm from Australia, born and bred, but my ancestry, my father was born in a town just up the hill here called Trecastagni. And they're going, yeah, like, I know Trecastagni, that, like, I've got a cousin that lives there. All right. I'm like, oh, wow, you know, this and that. So when I went there, I went to this town, you know, to my dad's town, and the cousin, his cousin, this is how I was like, wow, his cousin was actually my second cousin who I'd never met before. I'm like, wow. And this particular guy that I met, there was a bit of a shout out to him. His name is, or he calls himself Zoe Lujano. And he's actually a rap artist, and he was older than me and you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he does rap in the Sicilian language. And he's actually really good. And he does a lot of...
Have you got a name or a title so Mav can search it up?
Yeah, I have, yeah. So it's called Zui. So Zulu, so ZU, and then his second. So that's his first I think it's something complete, but that's his actual...
You say ZULU?
Yeah, so ZU and then space, then LU. If you look on Facebook, it's probably more than likely to be there.
Oh, look, we'll come back to that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We'll sort that out later.
ZUL, yeah. So, and this particular guy does like social work there. So he does a lot of like, you know, social work and things like that. And like he actually goes to, you know, the prisons in Catania.
Deals with the prisoners and does counselling and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so he does that. So I was really, and I still keep in contact with him. You know, what's going on and, you know, and everything. And yeah, I always keep in contact with him. And then there was another guy working there, and he actually runs that little tourist attraction. And he's a poet. And he would
That's his job description, is it?
Yeah,
I'm
a poeta, as they would say.
Is that what he puts on his immigration declaration when he comes through?
Yeah, probably. and he would, you know, and there'd be tourists there, and he'd be saying, things in poetry, as in the tourist attraction. But he'd be saying it in poetry. And then I'm there, and then he made something up for me. And it was about my mum and dad. Because just outside that facility there, or that castle, the tourist attraction, is where my mum and dad had their wedding photos taken.
Oh, wow.
Right? So I actually tracked it down. I thought, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, this has got to be here. And then I was with my brother-in-law, and he goes, oh, yeah, that's right there, and that's there.
Yeah.
And I took photos of the photos with that place in the background.
Well, I remember you showed me those. It was New Year's Eve. We're having this discussion about that latest trip, your latest journey back to the homeland, and I could sense the emotion in you, and just the things you've discovered and you've understood about your past, and it means a lot to you. Which is, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
you're right.
It means a lot because I actually because my first 3 trips I was younger, so my only interest was go there, go out,
party, meet girls,
all of that, right? So really wasn't my last in like when I went there in '96. That's when I started to meet people, as in friendships for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So, but this was in Italy and England as well. And so now,
I think as you get older in life, you seek those out more.
Yeah. No,
because they become more precious to you.
Yep, correct.
Yeah, because you can't take that stuff for granted.
No. So so like my recent trip was all about, I didn't care about going and seeing churches I went to churches and things like that, but it was more about, I stayed in my mum and dad's, or my dad's town, for like 2 weeks. And then I went back and stayed a few more days.
Yep. And
for the fact that I was there for a long time, I actually would walk around and just talk to people, and I'd say, I'm such and such, and and all of that. And then, like, just a few days before I left, I started talking with this old bloke, and he would have been, my dad's age, right? And I'd never met him before. I didn't know who he was. And he goes, what's your name? I said, Zappala. He goes, oh, okay. Yeah, I said, and he goes, yeah, there used to be this family that used to live down that laneway opposite the theatre, and their name was Zappala, and it was us.
Well, it had to be, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's a small town.
Yes. And he goes, their nicknames were, as they would say, i kraste. And I'm thinking,
what does that mean?
It means they work with the soil. That's what it means.
Oh, like farmers.
Yeah, farmers, yeah.
Kraste.
Yeah, crusty, yeah. But I didn't know that because Dad never really talked about that.
Yeah.
Dad was very good at giving other people nicknames, right? But he never said the nickname for his own family.
Which was what?
That word there, yeah. And I never knew about it. So these are the little things. And I laughed, but then as I stopped talking to this guy and I walked off, I started to cry because I never knew, and Dad never told me this.
Was it something he was ashamed of? Or
No,
it wasn't derogatory, was it?
No, because I kept in contact. Because I keep in contact, I got absolute heaps and heaps of cousins there, and now their children are in their 40s, so I kept in contact with them and all of that, and then I made like new friends, caught up with old friends. I've got a photo there that I've got. I caught up with friends that I made in the early 90s, and I caught up with them again. We're all in our 50s, and it was like we continued where we left off.
Yeah.
And I did.
That's when you know it's supposed to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's natural, it's organic, and it doesn't matter how much time has passed.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about nicknames, I've got to pull you up on this. Struns. Is it Struns?
Yeah, Struns. Yeah.
What is Struns?
Okay, Struns means in Italian, or it could be dialect. I'm not sure. it means that you're a stupid idiot or a village idiot.
Like
or
the
something.
village idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So, and that came about. It was one of my friends. It was one of my best friends at Beaumont Soccer Club. He was actual president there, and we'd always be talking. And then he just come out one day and he goes, "You're a bit of a struns, aren't you?" And I said, "Oh." And I didn't know how to take it, like it was an offensive thing or if it was... And he goes,
Did you think it was warranted, though? Are you a bit of a village idiot?
Yeah, I am.
You can hold court.
Yeah, I can hold
You can
court.
hold court, yeah.
Especially in Melbourne, around my soccer club stuff.
Yeah.
I do.
So we shout out to it's Bo Morris Soccer Club.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
You
yeah.
got your Aussie, you got your shirt.
Yeah, I got my shirt there.
You got your shirt there.
Well,
You want to
I should
hold that up for the camera.
Okay.
Because you're pretty proud of that, aren't you?
Yeah, so that photo there was when we won the title in 2022.
Yeah.
At the end of 2022.
What's that? At the end of COVID?
Yeah. So
Thereabouts.
my mum and dad had passed away. My dad had passed away, but my mum was still alive. And that was the day we won the title.
Just come closer to that mic, mate.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, yeah.
And that there was the day we won the title.
So this is a seniors title?
Yeah, it's a seniors title.
Because seniors is the like the premier.
Yes.
And then you go into like
age groups
35s and 45s and stuff.
correct, yeah.
So this is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
So you were playing
No, I was a team manager.
team manager.
And so there I am at the front.
Oh, I didn't recognise you. Look at that haircut.
Yeah, so there I am at the front. The guy right next to me with the same
Jacket, yeah.
jacket. He was the coach.
What was his name? Shout out to him.
David Gibson.
David Gibson.
Yeah, so, and then all those people there were players. There's probably not many of them left at the club anymore. But, we got our title and then we went out and celebrated. And
Of course you did.
And so I remember I'm sitting on the bench and it's 2-1 to us, and we had to actually win to win the title. We had no other choice.
So you had to win by a goal to win. You had to win. Exactly.
So we were that guy there. I see that guy in the green top.
Right, He's the goalie.
Yeah, so he was one of the goalies. The guy behind him, directly behind him, that he was the one that scored both goals.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so
I bet you he got lucky that night, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. So we won, and I'll never forget. I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just looking at the referee, and his time is just gone, like it's got to be the end of the game. And our keeper's got the ball in his hand, and then it's the referee stops his clock, and it's like time stood still.
Yeah.
That was it. It was like time absolutely stood still. He's got to blow the whistle. Seriously. Right? And then the keeper kicked it, and then he blew the whistle. And I just ran out onto the ground. It was one of the, and it was like everything that had happened. It was almost like he completely forgot everything.
Or everything else.
Yeah.
Apart from that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. And right there, if you talk about crying, that was probably, I think I was openly sulking, bawling my eyes out at that point.
Well, it sounds like it was earned. And that's the thing is like that. Males of our age, we shouldn't be ashamed of showing emotion. And I say this, I've said this previously, that I don't like that I'm more emotional as I get older, but I understand it's part of my journey.
Yeah.
I've evolved as a human being, and my emotional, my set of emotions have blossomed into something that's more well-rounded and less divided. I think that, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing to and especially, as I said, just you've got to embrace it. Don't be ashamed of it. A lot of people that a lot of men that hide or stow their emotions away and don't deal with it, it's probably very detrimental in the long term.
Yeah, it is. And like I never forget that night. we all stayed back at the club. We got absolutely like plastered. Then,
No, really?
Yeah. and then all these other people are joining in,
Of course.
So, people that like, all stayed there and everything like that. Then we all went out and all of that sort of stuff. And then I, went to, a few crowded pubs in town and stuff like that. This is just after COVID, right? So I caught COVID that night.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, for the first time. And everyone... And I'm thinking, oh, this is not that bad. Like, I've had worse, right? And then, like a week later, I'm in bed because I started going out and throwing myself around, crowded bars and things like that. Then I'm in, then my kids, they'll go, oh, stay in your room, stay in your room. So I did. So then I got on my laptop and applied for my passport and started looking at trips and things like that. That's when I decided to go overseas.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? It was a fucked up time, the whole period.
Yeah, and then it was a bit of a mixed emotion because I was on a high right there.
Yeah, of course.
And I was on a high and then I'm expecting it, and then I wake up Sunday morning and after we'd been out and everything, and I'm thinking, and you sort of expect, it's a big major thing in my life anyway. And
you're talking about the experience of winning or COVID?
Yeah, no, that.
That.
Yeah, that. And then I'm thinking, it's got to be on TV. You know how, you get the, Tigers win a premiership and it's all over the TV and everything like that. But that's not on TV. That's just, No. But then you've got social media messages towards you saying, congratulations and all that sort of stuff. So that was enough.
Has football always been a big part of your life?
Football, AFL, yes. So football,
not soccer.
No, I started soccer only because my son started playing when he was under 7. This was back in the early. I mean, yes, I followed football, like in the sense that, I'd go and watch the A League and I'd go and watch.
You never played as a kid.
No. I played AFL. I played AFL, yeah, as a kid.
Yeah, it didn't even come on the radar.
No.
Was it offered to you?
No, it wasn't.
And you turned it down?
No, it wasn't even offered because there was none around. It wasn't around like it is now.
No grassroots?
No. No. I mean, there was, but very small.
Yeah.
So it was mixed emotions.
Which is insane, isn't it? When you think it's the...
Now we have to knock kids back.
It's a worldwide game, yeah.
Now there's more kids wanting to play soccer
than AFL. Yeah, we've done the stats here prior on another podcast. It's amazing that...
so right at the end... And then, there was some mixed emotions at the time.
Yeah.
And because a month later, my mum passed away. So I was on a high.
Oh, you're talking about the win, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So we won the title, all of that. And 1 month later, my mum passed away.
Was that on the radar, or did it just happen out of the blue? It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was on the radar because at the time she was in a nursing home.
Okay. She was just slowly deteriorating.
Yeah. So
it's hard to watch, isn't it?
It was hard. It was hard, especially when she was just. I've got videos of her just calling. It's just hard to deal with because she was calling her mum all the time, and I didn't know what to do because
she was calling her mum.
Yeah, she was calling her mum.
She wanted her mum.
Yep.
Yeah.
And and in the nursing home, they didn't know anything. Like how to deal with her and everything like that. So,
was it dementia or was it?
It was dementia.
Yeah, that is.
It was dementia. I wish it was full dementia. Sometimes.
Yeah. Because
then she wouldn't remember anything.
Yeah, but she still did.
Yeah. Occasionally she'd come in and out.
Yeah, it's fucking cruel, isn't it? When you think about it, it's so fucking cruel.
She'd come, she'd like, and she was, when we won the title at that point, she she had her second stroke, so she was reduced to a bed where she couldn't walk anymore. So she'd have to be rolled around on and I'd go there after work because I didn't know what else I had to do, and I'd feed her.
Did she know you were there?
Yeah.
Did she understood what was going on?
Yeah, she knew I was there.
Yeah.
But then she'd forget, and I'd feed her. And I'm thinking, this is what she used to do with me. She used to feed me.
Yeah.
And now I'm feeding my mum.
It's a full circle moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was really, really hard because all of a sudden I'd finish feeding her and she'd start to remember things and she'd start to scream and go off on a tangent.
Mm.
And I couldn't handle it. And I had to leave because I just couldn't stand the screaming. And then they just wait till she calmed down and they put her back in her bed, like in her bedroom.
Yeah.
And that was hard to deal with. That was really, really hard to deal with. And then it got to the stage where she couldn't even eat. And then she went into palliative. And I actually invoked all the powers of attorney and things like that were probably was one of the best things I'd ever done. So then I invoked that and I put her into palliative care and she died quite peacefully, actually, because in the end...
On morphine?
Yeah, she was on morphine and everything like that. So because she was just lying there, she was pretty much dead, brain dead, just about.
Yeah. Emaciated as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was pretty much brain dead and everything. So she didn't know what was going on. So she died quite peacefully. Where I thought Dad's death, he was in palliative care as well, but it was a little bit more harder because he actually knew what was going on.
He had full cognitive...
Yep.
Yeah.
But he was not functional.
Yeah.
So, so that was quite...
Well, they say that it's either one or the other. It's either the mind or the body that gives up.
Yeah. So at that point, so Dad died May the 1st, 2021.
Why do you laugh at that?
Because May the 1st, it's the International Workers' Day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And also his birthday was the 26th of April, 3 days before he turned 91. And then on the 1st of May is where he comes from in the town. It's like he hung on for that day because the 1st of May there's a big, in the town where he comes from, there's a big festival, right? It's a religious festival, which Dad used to talk about all the time. So in 2023, when I went to Italy, I actually arranged my travel arrangements on leaving Australia on Anzac Day, arriving in Italy on the 26th, which was his birthday.
Yeah, and then being there for the
1st of May.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so I did all that.
Yeah.
So at that point, there was, in that 21st, 2021, 2022, and 2023, there was a lot of emotions. I was crying pretty much on a daily basis, right?
Did you understand how it was affecting you mentally? Did you have awareness of what it was doing?
No.
Were you just reacting to the situation?
Yeah, I was just reacting to everything.
Yeah.
Photo.
Did your wife know?
Yeah, she knew because I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'd be crying and screaming and and all of that just for no reason. It was pretty much around my mum and dad.
It's not for no reason.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You believe that?
Yeah, true. So at that photo there, that was at the end of COVID. So that trophy.
That's you.
Yeah. So that trophy was given to me as Volunteer of the Year at Beaumorra Soccer Club in 2019 in October. Okay?
Yeah.
Then I was supposed to bring it back to the club the following year in 2020 to give it to somebody else. Okay?
Yeah.
So it stayed at my house for 3 years. Okay?
It's a good-looking trophy, isn't it? Jeez, it's the size of a small baby.
Yeah.
A small child.
So I had it in my, as we walk in the front door, I had it right there. So then everyone would walk in, would see it.
Yeah.
And my wife hated it because it'd just be a talking point. Oh, look at that size of that trophy, you know, and all of that. So, yeah, so that was...
Wow, look at that beard you've got going on, mate. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, so I at that, I think only just before that, I think that's when I went out and got my hair cut for the first time. So there's a photo in there.
Yeah, because you couldn't just go out and get a haircut.
No.
Everybody was doing their own clippers. I think I shaved all my hair off.
Yeah.
I think I went number one and just went, fuck it. You know, I'm not going to get to a barber for a while. So you went the opposite way.
Yeah, I just let it grow, let it grow.
Yeah.
And that was as bad as long as I got it. And then my hair,
You look like you own a Harley in that, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a story behind that. There's a story behind that.
So you've owned a Harley?
No, I haven't. So I'm down at the beach and I was looking pretty much like that. And I was dressed, a bit of black and whatever. And I'm just going for a walk along the beach. And I'm thinking, why is that bird looking at me? Right? And she was actually, I'd reckon, the sort of bird that'd be like bikies,
Yeah. Bikie chick.
Yeah, and she's looking at me. And I'm like... And then I thought... And I actually went and got it all off because I thought that's not the sort of people I want to attract.
Yeah, so were you wearing leather?
No, I was just wearing black T-shirt like that.
Yeah.
I was... Not to discriminate against bikies, but,
No,
no.
No, not at all.
But it wasn't that sort of look that I was looking at,
Yeah.
in case it got me into trouble. So, but, yeah, so that was, and that's when I started planning my trip. I got overseas, then I think my trip overseas probably did more for my mental health than anything that I've ever done before.
This podcast is brought to you by Holy Shirt Australia. Holy Shirt Australia are 100% online. They're Australia's largest no minimum custom print and embroidery company. All their services are completed in-house and they can deliver all orders promptly and professionally. They like to keep it simple and straightforward, so they offer cool stuff that can be custom printed or embroidered to your liking. They have an easy-to-use online designer to build your custom apparel from the comfort of your home or office. They offer pricing that reflects your individual order, and remember, they are no minimum on all their products. They deliver what the customer expects when they expect it. They've got over 1,500 products ready for you to custom print or embroider today, right now. So head to holyshirt.com.au for all your custom clothing requirements.
Let's start now.
Shall we start now?
All right, let's go.
That's our second or third pee break. It's
yeah, okay.
It's, as I said, lucky it's not an end-to-end scenario, so we can stop and we can.
I know.
That's
See,
three
this
P's.
is what happens
so
when you get older.
I know. It's
yeah,
terrible,
it's terrible. It's absolutely shocking.
Terrible. Hey, we've talked a lot about your family. We've talked about
Yeah.
your upbringing and some issues that you've obviously had throughout your childhood. How do you think your mental health is today? I mean, if you want to grade it out of 1 to 10, where are you sitting personally? Because I want to start talking about you.
Yeah.
Because I think that's another reason why you're sitting here today.
Yeah.
Is that obviously you've got a story to tell, but I think you've got some stuff to unpack.
Yep.
And I've often joked with other guests that I should be charging for this because it's a therapy session. But I'm facilitating. Lured, that the ethos with Lured is about facilitating conversations about stuff that you don't necessarily talk about or you think is taboo to talk about. I mean, especially for middle-aged men like ourselves, we all know that there's an issue with us and not with us, especially not with me. And that's the reason why we're here today. So, I mean, if we were going to grade your mental health, where do you think you sit on a scale of 1 to 10?
At the moment, about halfway.
You're at a 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say it's absolutely perfect.
Can
but
you understand why you're at a 5?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because there's lots of struggles, like with it. Struggle number. I mean, I can't put them into context, but
No, just tell me what you're dealing with now.
All right. So struggling is, struggles are with my, like handling certain situations. Right. Either bullying or workplace or stress or stuff like that. And also like handling, if I can touch on that subject, is my like sexuality as well.
Of course, we can touch on it if you want to talk. If you're free to talk about it, yeah.
Yeah, meaning that.
So you're a happily married man.
Yeah, so I'm happily
married. So you're
married.
not coming out today and you're not telling me that.
No. Where a lot of people probably, especially my friend in Italy, Giovanni. I wouldn't. Yeah, it's hard to work out, but I think. Yeah, he shouldn't be watching this, but I hope he doesn't.
Well, we'll send him a copy.
Yeah. Okay, we'll send him a copy.
We have to do Italian subtitles.
Yeah. Like in the sense that since I was a teenager, pretty much when I started to discover, oh yes, I am a boy, and there are girls and things like that, and then I had the issue then of, what do I do next? I'll meet a girl, I want to talk to her. She's really attractive. Okay, what do I do next? Do I ask her out on a date? Do I try and kiss her? Do I try and hold her hand or all of that? Do I ask her to have sex or something like that? I didn't know. And the other thing is too, back then, I didn't have my mum and dad to fall back on, to ask questions. Where with my children, with the limited knowledge that I've got, I can actually talk to my children.
Well, it's been educated to them in schools these days. So
correct.
I mean, Mav's gone through sex education. We didn't specifically had it when I was a kid. I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I remember learning stuff through mates and just experimenting and stuff. So that's how we found out.
Yeah. And
so did you think there was something wrong? Did you think there was an issue, or was it just the frustration of not knowing what to do?
Yeah, it was just frustration of not knowing what to do in certain situations,
which is a natural reaction for a teenager.
And then
we're talking teenage, 15, 16.
And then, but it got into my 20s, my 19, 20, 21 and whatever, and then I was still struggling with it. So I was still
struggling in what way? Just trying to connect, make connections?
Yeah, just make connections.
So awkward?
Yeah. So I was still pretty much a, 21-year-old virgin, right? And you would look at that and mates of mine would go, oh, no way in the world. You have this like flowing effect with ladies these days and it seems like poetry, and I'm like, it's not, but back then it
wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't.
So
easy.
you're saying you were a 21-year-old virgin?
Yeah. So I was 21.
It's nothing to be ashamed about, to be quite honest.
I was 21. I was, I was 21. I was, stuttering. I was, but I wasn't struggling with my body image. I was fine. Like I was working out all the time, and I was into aerobics at the time. I was right into aerobics, where a lot of people would think, oh, is he gay? Because he's into aerobic, I was wearing...
Of course, those connotations.
All of that, right?
Yeah, those connotations, of course.
Right, so, it was that, and then I'd hang out with mates at rave parties, and most of the rave parties, the best rave parties, were the ones with the LGBTI community. They were the best rave parties.
Even though they didn't know that that's what the community was back then, did they? Well, it wasn't labelled that.
No.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
Those rave parties?
Yeah.
Did you partake in recreational drugs?
No. People I was with, openly.
Yeah.
But
was it a conscious decision on your part not to partake?
It was a conscious decision, but at the time, I didn't really know. At the time, I didn't know, but I never really did alcohol, and I didn't really drink much. I used to just go to these things and just rage and dance all night and everything like that. And
you're a rare breed, you know that. Somebody that can go have fun without enhancements.
Yeah, it was 4 or 5 a.m. and I'm that's enough.
Yeah.
Right? And there'd be people still around me, wide-eyed and everything.
Yeah,
and
well, those are the ones on drugs.
yeah, and
course.
I'm thinking, but I'm really fit. I swim, I run, I bike ride, and do aerobics all the time, and I'm just about had it. And all these people I don't know that are still, raging with their eyes wide open.
Yep. Yeah.
So back then, no, but there was a lot of instances where I'd go to after parties and things like that, and it was quite open.
Yeah.
It was just everywhere. Right.
So did you have you partake? No, never did.
No, never did. Never did.
Wow.
Never did. I just never did.
And it's never ever intrigued you.
No.
Yeah, I can understand it. I have a theory that I'm not going to die wondering, so
Yeah.
I will try anything and everything within reason.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and the time before that was like there was a lot of marijuana around the place. That didn't really interest me either. But I used to sit in cars with all these people who used to, chook away.
Yeah.
So it probably did get high doing that.
Of course it did.
Yeah. So, and all of that sort of stuff.
Secondhand smoke, of course.
And so I was really struggling with that part of it. And then like eventually I hit the jackpot. It was like, I don't know what you'd want to call it. I like every sort of Wednesday night, I used to go to this place in, where was it? It was called Lasers. It was Lasers nightclub. And it was on the corner. This is a bit of history here. It was on the corner of Springvale Road and Heatherton Road. There's a pub there.
I know exactly where you are.
Now, that used to be a nightclub. And on Wednesday night, all these people used to come out from the area, all sorts, and we used to go and party and then go to work the next day.
Of course. Yeah.
Right? So
that was par for the course back then.
And I remember that night, look, I can't even remember. I think there was a couple of like women there, if I can remember, and they were just out just to have a great time that night and whatever. So she picked me because I don't know why. I don't even know. There was tons of other blokes there. It could have been anybody. But she picked me. She took me to her car and she just gave it to me, and that was it. And that was the end of it.
She gave it to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
She said, there it is, take it.
Yeah, and that was pretty much, if you would say, it wasn't me, it was the other way around.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So,
she was satisfying her
Yeah,
need.
that was it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even remember how she looked like or what her name was, and it sort of started from there, but there was always a bit of frustration.
Yeah.
And then I went over, but it wasn't, but it's not like the taps flowed. It was it was only far and few between. So I got a little bit more confident, like I went overseas. And I remember when I went overseas back in the early 90s, I was a little bit more confident then. I was in my early 20s, and it was just after that. I would have been 23, 24 or something. I remember like I was on a train, of all places, on a train going somewhere in northern Italy somewhere, and this girl sitting opposite me just started talking to me. And I didn't end up where I was supposed to go and visit an auntie of mine. Didn't end up going there.
Because you hooked up with her.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Those are the great travel stories, aren't they?
Yeah, and
where you least expect something to happen.
Yeah. It was least. And I never forget, this bird was from Argentina, from a Russian background.
Wow.
Yeah. And I thought, this is all right. I should stay here more often, like, stuff like that. And so, but it was, even when I met my wife, it was always a struggle because she sort of came from the same background. Because she's from an Italian background too.
Yeah.
So she came from the same background, she would struggle. I think she still probably does, but we don't really talk about it. And
so what do you think she's struggling with? She's struggling.
Yeah, because we never really had like a lot of sex. We only had sex when we were maybe in the first couple of years.
Yeah.
And then we had our children. And then after our children, pretty much the last one, it's pretty much stopped.
Yeah. Well, your wife's probably going through menopause. Is your wife going through menopause? She's perimenopause?
She just turned 60.
Okay, so she's probably through that.
Yeah.
Did you understand what was happening at that? Have you discussed?
No.
You haven't had a discussion with your wife about
No, because it hasn't all been roses.
it?
So sometimes a conversation stops.
Okay.
So there's problems with that as well.
Yeah.
But it's sort of the underlying factor was I never really was comfortable from the start anyway, and that sort of flowed through to...
You're talking about your own sexuality. You're not
Yeah.
talking about
No.
the relationship with your wife.
No. So I was never really...
You wouldn't change anything about
No.
about your relationship with your wife and your
No.
kids and
No.
no. You just, as I said, you just there's an internal struggle which I think you obviously haven't dealt with,
Yeah.
and it's just simmering. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, it's not like I'm going to go out and,
No.
take Viagra all of a sudden, because I remember we were talking about
Oh,
that
yeah.
last time, right?
Who wanted the Viagra? It was
Harley.
Harley.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, you know what? If something is going to give me a heart attack, I don't want to do it. Yeah, right,
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, all right. So
That'll do it.
So I'd rather not.
Yeah.
But that, I'd rather not. I'm contented. Like with where I am, with her. I'm not going to go changing things. I think I'm sort of past that age. I mean, some people would. If there's no sex in a relationship, they would just move on.
Yeah. Well, there's certain people operate in certain ways, and they have needs, and if those needs aren't met, well, they go find it.
Yeah.
But as you say, if you're content, you've got a happy, loving relationship, and if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
No.
I think it's just internally what you're carrying around. I honestly think that you probably haven't dealt with it.
No.
I mean, you haven't. Is it something that you'd be consciously aware of throughout your adulthood?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm.
You've just been ignoring it.
Yeah, I just been. Yeah.
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 There's nobody you can. Have you talked to mates about it? Have you been in situations where you've wanted to have conversations?
Yeah, I've wanted to have the conversations, and then I have, like people like Ivan who have actually
Cookie, shout out to Cookie,
yeah, who've been out with me, and then I go out, and then I'm getting on the alcohol, and everything seems to be like all roses and everything like that, and and you're talking to everybody, especially the ladies, and then Ivan would turn around and make his famous comment. He would say, "Matteo, right? Getting a kebab is much cheaper."
He's fucking not wrong, is he? He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
And so I mean, I could see that, but that's something that I'm trying to, at some point, actually sit down with my wife and have that conversation.
Well, those conversations, not just our conversations,
Yeah.
it's those conversations, because it should be an ongoing basis. I'm no fucking expert. Don't get me wrong. I am discovering, like everybody else, and the thing is with me and this point in my life, I'm seeking solace, and I'm seeking answers, and I'm seeking out information that makes my well-being and the people around me a better experience.
Yeah, correct. And and that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. I'm not going to go changing my career at 60 years old. I'd like to, right?
Well, never say never, mate.
Yeah.
Never say never. I think to have that mindset is restrictive, and of course it's going to probably exacerbate any sort of mental health issues which you obviously have because of what's happening. So maybe you need to look at it from a different angle. Maybe you need to look at it from, okay, if you're resigned to the fact that this is the way it's going to be because you don't think, or you think it's too late to change, I think you definitely need to change that mindset. It was like, how can I? Because ultimately it's about your health and your happiness.
Yeah,
right.
correct,
And I've said this so many fucking times. If you're not happy, if you're not content, it affects your partners, it affects your family, it affects everybody else around you, and it's just detrimental for everybody involved. So
Yeah.
you have to make yourself number one.
Yeah.
And we've said it's selfish. It is selfish. You need to be selfish, and you need to make sure that you're at the top of the fucking list. That you're the first person that gets catered to and gets helped and gets what they need to be able to be happy, be content, and live a good life. Does that makes perfect sense to you?
Yeah, it does. And I'm my biggest problem, and I do know this because I am getting some counselling at the moment, is that my number one priority right now is learning how to deal with situations a lot better than what I actually do. And I've actually, where a lot of people won't identify this sort of thing, but I have identified it. And I've said, right, number one is I've got to learn to be where people around me, my social life, see a different side, right? They don't actually see that side of me. Yes, they do see the crying and they do see the emotional part of Matteo and all of that, but they don't see what happens at home. They don't see what happens in my work life. But there is... But I have, the counselling is actually helping a lot. That, you know.
So what do you directly relate? What are you directly working on in the counselling?
Just
you say on you dealing situations.
Yeah.
So are you not reacting to situations correctly?
Yes, correct.
So you're basically saying to yourself, I'm the problem because I'm not reacting to the situations that occur correctly.
Yeah. So
in whose mind?
Yeah, so I'm trying not to react, because other people, the bullies, are always going to be there no matter what. Because I think sometimes in my own head, I think sometimes being a bully is almost like a condition or a disease, right? You can't sort of say, but you don't know other people's life. Like, you don't know what their life's going to be. You don't, like, obviously...
You're talking about the bullies.
Yeah, the bullies, yeah. And this is where I was saying...
Because everybody's dealing with their own shit.
Yeah, they are. So I think, sometimes, they've got all these things up at work where they're saying, oh, if you've got mental health issues, ring up this number, talk to somebody and all of that, right? But bullies will never ring up that number because they think in their own head there's nothing wrong.
Well, there is no issue for a bully.
No.
They and in most cases, they don't even understand what they're doing.
No.
It's just inherently in their character.
So I'm doing that to sort of deal with I need to actually deal with things a lot better than what I actually do.
Well, saying that, what's the number one thing that you think you need to do that you're not doing? What's at the top of the list?
Is don't react and be proactive.
Just don't react.
Yeah, and be proactive. And on Thursday and Friday, I was actually proactive in a lot of things. I did something on Thursday and Friday which I'd never normally do in the past. Is admit to a mistake. So I admitted to a mistake that I made, and I rectified it, and I fixed the problem. So that's what I did.
Do you think has that been an issue for you?
Yeah, it was, because a lot of the times I would sort of make a mistake and I'd go and hide it somewhere. This is at work.
And not own it.
And not own it.
Yeah.
Because I would expect the consequences to be far worse
than owning up for it.
Yeah. Where I did that last week, I actually owned up to a mistake and I said, look, but not to the said person, to somebody else. And I go, look, I've made this mistake. There's a problem. I think I should deal with it. And, the mistake that I've made, we can, rectify it. And I did. And I actually went, on Friday, I left work and I actually felt really good about myself in that sort of way.
Do you think that's a cultural thing? This
yes,
this fucking up and then not owning it.
Yeah.
So my wife's in HR.
Yeah, I think it is, because people are scared to make mistakes to lose their job. That's what it is.
So they're gonna fudge it. They're gonna try to chuck it under the mat.
Yeah,
sweep it on the mat and hope it goes away.
Yeah, and that's a cult. Yeah, and And then,
So I'm saying personally, from my point of view, being a Kiwi, and a lot of people will probably listen to this and go, they won't agree with me. But I think the one thing that I noticed when I got here from New Zealand to Australia was there is this culture of people not owning up for their mistakes.
Yeah.
And going, hey, my bad. What do we do? How do we fix this?
Yeah, yeah. And
Whereas I think and this is probably a generalisation, but I think coming from New Zealand, it was like, fuck yeah, we fucked up. I fucked up. What are we going to do? How are we going to fix this? You know, and it's like there's always a solution to a problem, and not. I think fundamentally as a human, not owning up for something or not taking responsibility for your actions, is abhorrent.
yeah,
It's probably a very strong word.
yeah,
but
it is.
I don't agree with it personally. I think I've taught my son the same thing. I hope I have. That's not part of acceptable behaviour.
Yeah, and yes, I do think it's a cultural thing, like in Australia, and because people are scared to.
You think it's just because they're scared?
Yeah, because they're scared to stuff up, then they get blamed for something, and then they lose their job, then they're unemployed. So they try and sort of not stuff up, right? And then they're going, well, if I do, I'll just throw it away or just sweep it under the carpet or whatever it is. And then hopefully it'll just go away and nothing will get noticed. But I did something about that on Friday.
So that's a recent revelation. Which, yeah.
Right.
Do you think that's refreshing?
Understanding. Yeah, it was great because then I went away on the weekend and then it was Friday night and I got home and I was absolutely cooked and went straight to bed. Then I got up on Saturday morning, like yesterday, and I went and did my thing yesterday morning and I was clear-headed and because that job's done.
Yeah.
Finished. And it's going and it's correct.
Can you leave work and leave work at work? Do you take it home? Is that something that you...
I have been lately taking it home.
Yeah.
Where this is why the counselling's working.
Yeah. So the counselling's a recent thing.
Yeah.
You're on a mental health plan with your doctor?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So with but also I'm also talking with like one of my friends who's actually a manager at work. Okay. I won't mention his name.
No.
But he has helped out a lot. And he keeps on saying to me, Matteo, it's not your problem. Right? There's other people at work that have to deal with those issues. Don't make it your problem.
Do you think you're taking on too much that you shouldn't?
Yes.
Yeah. So you need to let go of it.
Yeah. So I need to let go some things.
Yeah.
Not my actual job.
No.
My actual other things like,
stuff that you can't control, that you shouldn't need to control.
Yeah. Like quality issues.
Like letting it go.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that's something that you've got to work on?
Yeah, and I've been trying to do it over the last 3 weeks. Like I've been talking to myself. I tell you, it's not your problem. Just let it go.
Yeah.
It's not your problem. Just don't, And it's something that, and it's led up to what I did on Friday. And then I've had a great weekend thinking, oh, this is great, really refreshing. I feel clear-headed. And I could walk away and I'm like, wow, well, it's made a difference. And I go back to work Monday. And,
same problem occurs.
Well, he's been throwing it at me less and less because I think he's realised that I'm not going to react to a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, as you say, it's as simple as changing one behaviour.
Yeah.
Because behaviour breeds behaviour. So if you're doing the same things week in, week out, you're going to get the same result. Whereas if you change one behaviour, it's going to change the dynamic. Do you understand that that's how and why it's happening?
Yeah.
You get that?
Yeah, and it's and because I've been doing it over the last couple of weeks, just changing that mindset and not worrying about what the other person's doing, where sometimes I was always worrying about what the other person's doing.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, it's not my job, that's his job.
Yeah, but that comes down to that thing where you can't control what he's thinking.
No.
Yeah.
No, I can't control his thinking. And, like what I've realised, if he stuffs up, right, it's not my issue, it's his problem. And that's it. If I stuff up, then all I'm going to do is own up to the problem.
Of course.
Fix it, then move on.
Mm.
And so So which is, for me, it's actually in my own, it's actually, doing really well. Like it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if you're sitting there by yourself in your own thoughts, what's your internal monologue at the moment?
Right now?
Not so much right now because we're in amongst this experience. I'm talking about when you're at home by yourself and you're just left with your own thoughts.
I just sometimes wish that things would just go away, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
I just go, I wish, and the thing is, my friends around me have been absolutely fantastic. Like I've got to say,
that's right. Good that you've got that because a lot of people don't have that support.
No.
I don't. It sounds like you're not leaning on them enough, though. To be quite honest.
No. I have like lent. I mean, there's two people in particular that I have lent on.
Yeah.
The Ivan be one of them. Big shout out to Ivan and this other person as well.
Yeah.
So I've lent on them. Then, like occasionally, I'll ring up my sister overseas, and I'll have a conversation with her. But that's more to just to talk to somebody, not to like have a solution. Because my sister now thinks like the Italians work hard, make lots of money, and don't worry about like everything.
Yeah,
else.
put your feelings in the fucking closet and don't worry about it. Yeah. You'll deal with those when you die.
Correct.
When you're on your deathbed.
All right. So, but it's always something to talk. There's always something to talk about.
Of course, there should be.
But I always think, I'm. Like one of the questions that the counsellor asked me was, what do you live for? Okay.
Hey, I've actually got that right in front of you. What's important to you?
Okay, important to me.
Yeah. Which is technically the same question.
Yeah, it's my kids growing up, being not. I wouldn't say my kids have got to be completely successful, like they've got to be wealthy and all.
They've got to be happy.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yes.
Ultimately, your kids have to be happy.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what they do.
Yeah. So I look at all my three kids, and each one of them has got a completely different, mindset. Where, I'll start with my eldest. She is going through her own problems. Okay. So she's learning how to deal with that, and she's learning how to deal with like everything that that's been put in front of her. But, she's been to Japan and Korea and Taiwan. Okay, so I think she's doing okay.
Sounds like it to me,
yeah,
mate. She's
right.
got nothing to complain about, has she? Really.
So she's gone to places where there's a completely different, like, language and culture, all right? My son is trying to fix the planet. Okay?
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he an environmentalist, is he?
Yeah, he's
tell by the long hair.
Yeah, he's a full-on environmentalist, and he gets stuck into a lot of things.
Well, it's a good profession to be in because they're definitely sought after with a lot of companies these days.
Yeah, so he used to be like involved in like climate strike action, like a few years ago. But now he's grown up a little bit.
So he's sort of shaken off the anarchy side.
Yeah,
of things.
he was pretty much.
This is all about fucking numbers and.
So the microphone used to be the front of the microphone and everything like that, and then he used to say I wasn't radical enough. He used to tell me,
oh really?
Yeah, he used to say to me, "You're not radical enough." And I'm like,
you should have said to him, "Look, I'm gonna fucking die. I don't care anyway, mate. We're all gonna die."
And then my younger one. If there was somebody that's more like me, it's probably my younger one.
Why do you say that?
Because she's the one that likes to go out. She likes the one that likes to go out and party a lot. She will end up being, she's only 16, but when she turns 18, I'll probably never see her. All right, so she was. Oh, like it's already sort of starting to happen now.
I know, mate. The ship's sailed, man.
Yeah.
That's the
thing.
That's the thing with Mav, like 16 going on 24. He's like, Jesus.
Yeah, and it's and she's already started, and so she's probably more like me, and she's more of a raver as well.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh wow, she's like me. I'm so proud, But all three of them are completely different. Like,
so they should be.
Yeah,
they should be. Yeah.
You know, I don't want to. I can see my younger one probably end up working in a restaurant or having a business or something like that. My son will probably end up being like a professor at a university.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
My older one will probably end up being a school teacher, maybe at some point. You know, like when she decides she has to actually go and do something, right? Instead of going to Japan and, Japan and Korea and Taiwan chasing K-pop concerts, you know, because that's all she's doing at the moment.
Do all the siblings get on well?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I'm really, that is something that I'm really proud of.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you're like my dad. My dad, 83, he said to us when Mum passed away last year, he goes, "Thank God that you, all the siblings, so there's 4 of us, all get on together. You all converse. There's no internal fucking struggle or any angst." And that for him as a dad is pretty proud. And as I can see in your eyes, that's exactly what you've got. And you'd want to hope that continues, you know, because they're going to be there to take care of you,
Yeah.
like you were there to take care of your mum and your dad.
Yeah, and it was, you know, because my youngest last night went and spent some time with a friend. and
Mav,
you know, it's
Mav's not paying attention. is
yeah,
he?
but this, yeah, the thing is, like, the issue with me is because I've been involved in like all the sports. You know, I got involved as a volunteer parent at the school as well. You know, the schools they went to in primary school and stuff. So, and then I'd always be, you know, talking with parents everywhere and all that sort of thing. So, like, you don't have to include this, but something I want to share, right? So
Well, we're not going to edit it out, mate.
yeah. So, you know, last year, all of a sudden, you know, my daughter, she's just before Christmas and she met some guy. And, you know, my wife asked, can you find out about, you know, his name's such and such? And, oh, yeah, okay. So he used to play soccer at Beaumont Soccer Club, didn't he, as a teenager?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
So he
as a
knew his
kid.
parents.
And I knew him. Like, no, he remembered me.
Oh, right.
And which school he went to and everything like that. So I've got one of the guys that plays in our team. He's a school captain at a particular school. And I said, "Oh, do you know such and such?" He goes, "Yeah. I said, "You know, what sort of a guy is he?" "Oh, no, he's all right.
He's a
you
good kid.
know." Yeah,
He's a good
okay. Yeah. So I found out. And then this other guy, right? She saw friend last night. Okay. I know the mum and dad really well. She went to the same primary school with him and everything. And I thought, oh, yeah, he's a nice kid. He's all right, you know.
Hey, kid, I've got a burning question for you because obviously I've got a son, so he's on the other side of the coin.
Yep.
Of this, how do you feel as a dad with a young female daughter in this target zone? Because she's 16.
Challenging.
So we understand she understands about the birds and the bees. She's had all the
Yeah. She understands
and
all that.
you've had you and your wife had discussions with her, and you've talked about
slight. I haven't had that discussion where, you know, about contraception or anything like that yet.
Yeah,
but that's next. Right, that'll be next.
Yeah,
right. Because
how do you feel about it? What's your
It's like
what's your opinion about this point in your life? Does it scare you? Are you embracing her womanhood? Are you just not wanting her to develop and do what she's eventually going to do?
Look, every parent, I think, doesn't want their kids to become older, you know, because I look at my younger one and I still remember when she was like 3 and 4 years old. We used to go to this cafe in Cheltenham, right?
Yeah.
Because I was a stay-at-home dad for a few years.
Yeah. She's all grown up.
Yeah, and I used to take her there and she used to be so cute. We used to have baby chinos and all the ladies that come along. Oh, she's cute and all that sort of stuff, you know. That was really nice. But now all of a sudden she's 16. She's very aware of herself.
Yeah, which is good.
Right, which is really good, right? So, yes, you don't want them to be
sexually active.
Yeah, all
I'll
of that,
say it.
right?
I'll say
Okay,
it.
yeah, right. You don't want them to be that.
No, but you know it's going to happen.
But you know it's going to happen, and so that'll happen. So then you got to sort of learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right. So
how do you think you've dealt with it?
Well, so far, yes.
Has it happened or not?
I don't
It's probably
know.
irrelevant.
I wouldn't have
as
a
a
clue.
dad, you don't know.
I know. I wouldn't have a clue.
No.
I reckon. Look, she's very, she likes to socialise. She spends a hell of a lot of time at Southland. I don't know what for. Probably checking some other boy out.
Well, yeah, I think
all of that.
It's just a good place to hang out.
So.
Yeah.
And then I used to say, as a teenager, I used to hang out at Southland as well, and all of that. But I don't know. But I have said to my wife, I just don't want to be a grandparent just yet.
No, true. No, never,
right, so.
Neither do I, Maverick.
Yeah, right, so it's not like, there's other people around me who have got adult kids and their grandparents around, and they're grandparents and they're younger than me.
Fuck.
All right?
Yeah.
You've probably met some of them,
Probably
right?
have. Yeah.
All right, so they're, I'm sort of like, but even my oldest daughter, she's turning 25 this year, and I still don't want her to be. Now, if I know what my oldest daughter's been up to or my son, I wouldn't have a clue. And I'm not going to even ask.
Oh, no, it's probably not your place to.
No.
But as I say, it was just the reason why I asked is that
But
I've got the flip side of the coin of what your daughter's on one side and my son's on the other side. And they're in this hot zone at the moment.
Yeah,
and they're experiencing all these emotions and hormones and stuff like that.
But my eldest, they had I could tell where my eldest were. Like I didn't have issues with my eldest when they were no, I'm fine.
You're right.
Yeah, but I didn't have any issues with my eldest when they were the same age. You see, so it's like it hasn't been a problem, but. It's not like it hasn't been a problem. I don't know. But best not to know.
Sometimes.
Right?
Sometimes.
But my youngest one, I can see it. Like, I can see where it's, the trajectory of it. I can see it.
Yeah.
And my wife could see it. So I said no to her last night.
Going to...
Yeah.
Oh,
to
really?
a friend's house. I said no.
Yeah. Did Mum override that decision? Or?
No, Mum doesn't know how to say no.
Oh, right.
All right, so she went anyway. And then we went and picked her up. And, poor kid, he's a nice kid. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad kid. And I know the mum and dad and, but I know the mum probably a lot better because I used to be at the school a lot often. So, but he's a nice kid. He came out. He waved to us, said hello. She gave him a hug. And I'm thinking, and I'm just looking. I'm just looking. Oh, okay, all right, no worries. She came to the car, got in. She didn't say anything. And she was fine with it. And we were fine with it. We dealt with it. But I'm dealing with it. Being Italian, right, as well, including my wife. She's dealing it with in her way.
Yeah.
And I'm dealing it with separately.
Yeah.
Because I get back to that thing. We never had our parents to fall back on. Right? Our parents would never in a million years come and pick us up from a friend's house at all. They wouldn't even let us go to a friend's house.
Yeah, exactly. Completely different time.
Yeah.
Completely different mindset.
So we dropped her off. Then we went and did our own thing at my brother-in-law's house, just to catch up. Then we went and picked her up. But in that, 45 years ago, no way would my dad or my dad would have dropped off me or my sister at anyone's house for anything.
Well, see, that's completely different culturally to what I experienced as a kid. Was like I was just left to fend for myself.
Yeah.
And it was because I look at what my son's doing now at 16, and then I got to go, well, hey, what were you doing at 15? At 15, I'd left school.
Yeah,
I was working. I was living out of home, and I was doing everything that an adult was doing because that's what I wanted to be, was an adult. Anyway, hey, look, before we go, I want to touch on one subject, and for me personally, it's not a subject that I really fucking like. If you know me and you've listened to me and you have any idea about my mental or mindset, is that I don't want to fucking die. I mean,
Yeah.
live,
Okay.
live until I die. And I honestly think there's sometimes that I think I've cursed myself with this acronym, bullied. But I have an irrational fear of death. It is irrational. And I know personally that when I'm depressed, I think about death, and that's my gauge. So I know that I'm at a certain point, I'm at a low point when I think about death, and I fucking hate it. I hate being there. I don't like it. But as I've gotten older and through this journey that I'm doing now, I'm trying to understand and trying to deal with my emotions with regards to death. We're all going to fucking die.
Yeah.
It's going to happen to us eventually. It's something that we've got to deal with. A lot of us deal with it with our parents. As you say, we have to go full circle with them. So yeah, I don't like it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't like to think about it, but we're going to talk about it today because it was something that you had on the checklist about your death. Does death sit well with you?
Look, it doesn't. Just in the last, we had to go and get our affairs in order. Right?
Your will and your
test. Yeah. So so we've done that. Probably like many years too late, but we've like actually done it now. And one of the things that the solicitor brought up is, how do you want your funeral organised? And I thought, oh, okay. So I said, like my wife goes, my wife's been pragmatic. She goes as cheap as possible, this and that.
Just get it done and dusted.
Yeah. That's it. So I'm going in detail. So I would like funeral in a Catholic church like I would. Then
I didn't ask you about religion.
Yeah.
You're Catholic?
Yeah, but I'm not.
You were raised.
Yeah, I was raised Catholic.
But you're not a practicing Catholic.
No. But either was my father. Like he was more like he goes, a Catholic church, I'm not giving them money.
No.
No. Yeah, so that's what he did. So
everybody's got if it's part of your culture and your upbringing, it doesn't mean that you have to automatically adopt it.
But his part of the Catholic Church was that church, that photo that was there, and I said that church is very significant. So that was his childhood, and that was always about a festival every year and about saints and things like that, which I participated in like when I was there, but it doesn't necessarily make me a good practicing Catholic. So I said, right, okay, so Catholic Church, all of that. Then I want to be cremated.
Okay, so another question for you. What do you think happens to you when you die?
I don't know. It's hard.
Do you have a belief that maybe there's something else that we don't understand or not? Because, I mean, obviously, being a Catholic, you believe that you're going to go to heaven.
Yeah.
And you're going to this eternal fucking...
whatever it is.
Dance club, whatever, however you want to interpret it.
Yeah.
What do you think happens when you die?
I think, like remember when Dad was on his deathbed, and he was quite sort of like I was saying to him, this is what I believe in, right? Don't forget, Dad, when you sorry.
You're right. Take your time.
Is when you get there, don't forget to go and say hello to Nonno, who was my grandfather.
Yeah. Nonna,
and all these other people. And then I had a cousin that just recently passed as well, and she was almost my age.
So you want to believe that everybody is together again in the afterlife.
Yep.
That's what you want to believe.
Yeah. And I said, don't forget, when you see Nonno, say to him, because I've got his name, and, say to him, I turned out all right. I think about you all the time. Tell him that. And my dad, he understood everything that I said. And then he died the next day.
Do you think that's what he believed?
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And I said to him, please
Does
say
that give you peace knowing that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It does. It does. And, like I often talk to Dad. Some people, I used to say, see, Dad, see, I've got great kids, Dad. See, Dad, we're good people. See all the people that respect us, Dad. Everywhere I go, Dad. And that showed where I went to his town. It's that's another thing. I don't know if we'll get into that, but yeah, no, my plans is B, and my wife goes, do we need to take a trip to Italy? And I said, yeah, of course you do. So my ashes, like I've nominated places where my ashes want to be spread.
Yeah.
One of them's at Parkdale Beach.
Yep.
The other one is at Beaumaris
You want
Soccer
Beaumaris
Club.
Soccer Club?
Yeah. Beaumaris Soccer Club.
Right on the centre.
Yep, just whatever.
Yeah.
And also in the town and the church where my dad comes from.
Yeah. How do you want people to remember you?
I want people to remember me as a good person.
Yeah.
That made a difference to a lot of people.
Do you think you're doing that?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I'm making a difference to a lot of people. Like I said to my wife one day, because I was going through that stuff at work, and I said, I can go to, 2 different places. I can go to my soccer club, and I can also go to my town where Dad comes from, where I feel so comfortable there. And I can go there and do nothing. I don't have to work. I don't have to do anything. But just for the fact that I'm there and I'm answering people's questions and talking to them, I think people just respect that, and that's enough. Yes, I do volunteer a lot, and I love volunteering. I absolutely love it. I love volunteering. And just recently, I gave blood for the first time in 30, 40 years.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
Right? So what I'd like to do next is get a lot more people involved in giving blood.
You got a list of other stuff that you want to do that you haven't done before? Have you sat down and thought about? I mean, because we talk about bucket lists. I don't like the term bucket list.
Yeah.
I like a to-do list. I think a bucket list has certain connotations, which obviously I don't like having to deal with because I know it relates to the end. There's to-do lists and there's stuff that definitely I want to tick off. What's at the top of your list?
Top of my list would be spend 6 months in the town.
You just want to go home and be where you're from. And you'll be content with that. Just live life.
Just live, go there.
Go get your espresso in the morning and your
shop, talk to people.
Yep.
I could do that for 6 months.
Could your wife do that?
I sort of discussed it with her. And she's going, oh, but, we've got to do the house and, and all of that. So she has a different view on it. But I would do it between Christmas and June, something like that. I think that's the best time to go because it's not so hot. I think like July, August is just too hot. And then I could go skiing as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I can do that. That would be one. Obviously, my beloved Beaumaris Soccer Club winning the title this year would be really good.
Hey, we haven't talked about the Tigers scarf that's sitting over there. We'll touch briefly on that because you know what I don't understand? So this is a little bit hypocritical because obviously I'm a diehard All Blacks fan.
Yeah.
I don't understand the passion about AFL football teams and the anguish that you all go through year after year after year not winning a flag.
Yeah.
So I've got a 4-year cycle with the Rugby World Cup, which I can quite happily manage.
Yeah.
But you guys are year in, year out, and it's just constant. I mean, obviously you got a flag in 2017, which was obviously a great point in your life.
Yeah.
Because you're a diehard fan.
Yeah.
Was that handed to you as a child?
Yes, yeah, but so my mum bought that when I was like...
Pull it over so everybody can see it. Because what did you say? You got that in 19... Put it over your shoulders. 1977.
Yeah,
So that's just about as old as I am.
Yeah, so my mum bought this, and in 1977, I started becoming a Tigers supporter because of my next door neighbour. So he had an influence on it.
Right, so it wasn't a family thing. Because in Australia,
no.
You're born into a house.
Yeah,
is that how it works?
Yes.
You're St Kilda, you're Fremantle, you're what? That's how
they
it works.
kick you out of the house.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be a Collingwood supporter.
If you revolt.
So if you're...
Well, you can't be a Collingwood supporter if you've got too many teeth. Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, but if you're in a Melbourne household and you decide to barrack for Collingwood, you're most likely to get kicked out of the house.
Well, so you should.
Yeah, right.
So you fucking well should.
Yeah. So
all those Collingwood supporters out there just turned off. Thank you.
Yeah. So my first memory as a child was probably 1974. Okay, so when the Tigers had won 2 on the trot, and then my next door neighbour always had the Richmond stuff on, and then I started following Richmond, and then
so the disappointment started early.
Yeah, so then
that's no different to any other team, isn't it?
No. And then in 1980, right? So there was 77, 78, 79. Then players from the 73, 74 era started retiring, and then they started building up their list again. And then 1980, they all of a sudden they hit the jackpot and they started winning games and things like that. I started going to the games quite a bit. So 1980, 81, 82, I was always going to games as a teenager and following religiously, like every game, Saturdays, it was great. Used to ride my bike down to the station, catch a train into Richmond.
Classic.
Then, and I would always be wearing this scarf. I had an old Richmond jumper and all of that sort of stuff. And, the same guy that I've gone to the footy with since then, I still go today with.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Right, so, so then in 1980, right, they make the grand final against Collingwood. And back then, it was a lot easier to get grand final tickets because...
of course.
Yeah, because, they'd sell them to the general public, but it was
actually... still at the MCG, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it was more standing room.
Yeah.
And that day, our family was invited to a wedding.
Who would have a fucking wedding on grand final day?
Well, this couple did.
Look, to be quite honest, if you're not from Melbourne, anybody knows that you do not get married on grand final day.
No.
That's no, any venue that is open to take weddings on grand final should be fucking shot. That should not happen.
Yeah.
Anybody involved in that wedding is going to be interested in the grand final, regardless of who's playing.
Yeah.
I think is that am I?
Yep.
I'm not wrong, am I?
So the guy that I normally go with, his family wasn't invited to the wedding, so he went. But my other mate, we both went to the wedding. We were forced to go to the wedding by our parents.
You can't watch it on your phone, can you?
Nothing.
1980.
It was a little transistor radio.
Yeah.
Nothing. And we couldn't even watch it on TV.
Jesus.
All right, nothing. And then I saw the replay years and years later because I couldn't find it anywhere.
Who won?
Oh, Richmond did.
Oh, they did. So
in 1980 against Collingwood, they absolutely poleaxed them.
But then they didn't get another flag until 2027. Is that 2017? Sorry.
Yeah, so correct.
So it was 37 years later.
Yeah. So in 1981, they had a lot of injuries. They had a really bad season. Then in 1982, they had a really good season, and they made the grand final. Right. So I went as a 16-year-old. Right. Got into the grand final. We snuck alcohol in and all that sort of stuff because you could then.
Of course you did.
Right? And they lost. Right? So...
Were you devastated?
Oh, I never got over it. And I never got over it to the point where I kept on blaming my mum.
Oh, that's not very nice.
For not letting me go to the grand final in 1980. Right? So then, and then 1983... came 1983, went to a few games. They were getting smashed because all their players had left. Then 1984, I turned 18, started going out, completely lost interest. Right? Then, and the club almost went broke. Like, completely broke. Like, to the point
That's
where...
because the supporters fucked off.
Yeah. So, and like what it was then, there was no draft. There was just buying players.
Oh, right.
So clubs, so 1984, they had this obsession about buying a premiership. So they tried to buy certain players.
Was there a price cap back then or not?
No, nothing.
No.
Yeah, so then between 1984 and 1993, I virtually stopped going. I might go to one game a year. They'd get smashed. It was like, and this is when it became a national competition. So it was really hard to compete. The club almost went broke. And then in 1994, when I was about 28, and then I started taking a little bit more interest in it because they started winning games and things like that. And because the club almost went broke and folded, I actually started, I thought, no, I can't, I've got to be involved. So I actually went to meetings and things like that. They got not involved in fundraising, but I actually sort of put my point of view across, like on what the club should move forward and how it should be done and everything like that. Especially around Richmond, because the demographic around Richmond, it changed. Like, it wasn't no longer your typical Richmond supporters because they all live out in the suburbs now. So, like around Richmond at the time, there was a lot more Vietnamese people, right? Because they all started coming at the end of the Vietnam War and things like that. So, and then they started engaging with a lot of those people as well, Richmond supporters and, So then in 1994, I started going again. And that's when I bought a premiership, I rebought a membership and I started doing it like all of a sudden. And I've been a member since 1993, I think, up until now. So it's been quite a long time. But then year after year, it was their whole was just to pay off the debt and build up members to the point, but they weren't winning any games. So they were always finishing bottom of the ladder, all of that. Go to games, they get thrashed, 100 points, 100 points, 100 points. It was just normal. Then in 2013, they recruited well, especially your fellow countryman, Dustin Martin.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He's a Kiwi boy.
Yeah, he's half.
Half.
Yeah,
we'll take half the
take half. Yeah. Take half. And, they started winning games. They made finals, all of that. But they always got knocked out in the first final.
Yeah.
Like, 2013, 14, 15, they got knocked out in the first final. Then it got to 2016, and they had a really bad year. Like, they finished outside the 8, all of that. They were going to sack the coach.
That was Damien back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
He was on the chopping block back then.
Yeah, in 2000 at the end of 2015, they were going to sack him. And then they went with it because they recruited.
Yeah.
So they recruited well. They recruited, but they had Dusty then, but they brought in guys like Prestia, Nank. They brought him in. They also bought, a couple of the other guys from, I think, it was Gold Coast and things like that, who were, ready-made players to win a premiership. Then all of a sudden, in 2017, they started winning games, and it started.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, and then
well, they do back to back, didn't they? Did they go back to back to back, or just back to back?
No, it was back to back 1920.
Yeah.
Then I'm looking at Dusty, and I'm thinking, I used to have my favourite player as a teenager and everything like that. And then I'm looking at Dusty, and I'm thinking, and I said to my mate then, I go, I never thought in my lifetime I'd ever see a player like Dusty ever. And I remember back in those days when he first started, like when he first got recruited, good-looking rooster. We go to, like, they put on a cocktail party for all the Richmond members, right? And I go to these, and all the players would be signing, and Dusty would be sitting in the corner with thousands of women around him,
Of course.
and all of that, right? So then 2017, in the finals, get to the first final. They played against Geelong. Dusty just turns it on and smashes Geelong. I walk out.
I remember that. I do remember that.
I walk out in tears, kicking myself to say, is this it? Is this it? Like, you know, and I still can't believe it. And then it got to the prelim, and they played GWS, and they couldn't sell enough tickets to like GWS because it's virtually non-existent supporters, and there was at least 90,000 Richmond supporters inside the MCG.
Nice.
Right? And it was just one-sided as hell.
Of
right?
course.
And then, then my mate, we're sitting there and he goes, Matt, do you know we're in the grand final? This towards the end of the game. And I go, oh, stop being stupid. No, we're not. Like I still couldn't grasp it.
Yeah.
Right? And so I got to grand final day. And, they got in.
Were you there or not? No.
Yeah, no.
You're at the stadium.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I got to the stadium.
Of course, because you remember, yeah.
Yeah. I got to the stadium, got a ticket, and that day, my mates' kids are all grown up, and they did videos of us walking in, going to our seat, and everything like that. And I was like, like Adelaide was the team. But Adelaide at the time had some cultural problems. I think they lost the dressing room with the coach and everything like that. So they actually struggled. That year they finished on top.
Hold that thought. Mav, keep that rolling. I've got to make a dash because otherwise I'm going to piss my pants. Don't forget where you're at.
Sorry, I've got to come with you as well.
That's all right. That was another 40 minutes. It's like...
Sorry.
No, that's fine, mate. So we've got to finish the story about the footy,
yeah,
and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem.
Oh, good.
Okay, so wrap it up and just I mean I could go on for another 3 hours. You realise that, all right? So
I know. There's nothing wrong with that though, mate. That's good.
Yeah. So So I'll put the scarf back on.
Yeah.
So
So we're at the 2017 grand final.
yeah.
20
All right. So
Hold on a sec, we'll just wait. You recording?
done. Okay. So yeah. So 17 grand final. Done all the grand final parades and everything like that. There was the biggest outpouring, like, of emotion you've ever seen by Richmond supporters. Okay. So
Yeah, you were one of them, weren't you?
Yeah.
I can see it right now. You're starting to well up thinking about it.
Yeah, so when I realised that we had the game, was at half time, the Adelaide players went in, and they're arguing with each other.
Yeah, because they weren't performing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So they'll really, and then I knew at that point we
had-
weren't that far in front.
Yeah.
It was enough for them.
But psychologically, you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dusty was just. I'm thinking, if I'm a woman, oh my god,
Yeah. On fucking fire, mate.
Yeah,
On fire.
he was just like tearing it apart, but everyone else was as well. And then it got towards the end of the game, and I had the camera on my phone. I've got a video there, it's like, and I keep on watching it every once in a while. It got towards the end of the game. We got tickets up in the 4th tier, and then all of a sudden, like my mate, he turns around and he goes, "Matt, we've won the grand final. We've got the premiership." I'm going, "No, we haven't." I still couldn't.
Yeah.
It just didn't sink in, at all. And then when the siren went, all I did was just scream for like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, just constantly.
Yeah.
And just we're all over each other. We're jumping on, and
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
up there. We all fell. There's glasses going everywhere and everything like that. And then, we saw all the presentation and stuff like that. And then we're going, oh, so what do we do now? We got to go somewhere. We got to do something,
Yeah. Well, go to Richmond. That's what you want to do.
Yeah. And so,
When there's street parties and people jumping on fucking roofs and cars and stuff and
Yeah, there was. Yeah. So the people, the traffic. So we stayed and watched the Killers for a while.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right.
Yeah. And that was really good. It actually fit the bill.
Yeah.
And then we left, and there was just thousands and thousands of people just all heading towards Swan Street.
Yeah.
And we get to Swan Street. It was just a wall of people. And somebody forgot to tell somebody that, let's not run trams or let's block off the street. So there's people that just poured out of the pubs, right, and went straight onto the street and just caused a major traffic jam. Right, that was it.
Yeah.
There was nothing else.
Well, you think you'd be silly to drive through Richmond on that day anyway, at that point of time at night, but a lot of people that got caught up with it were probably unawares of exactly what had just happened. And what had
And so, a couple of things that sort of happened. Number one, people are just going into the bottle shops, and it wasn't that a very good look. And then there was things like like a few of the barber shops were open, and people are getting Dusty haircuts, where on some Dusty can pull it off.
Yeah, a lot of people can't.
Right, a lot of
Yeah,
people just look like bogans, all right? So it was really bad.
Yeah.
And then, you couldn't go anywhere to get anything to eat. Everything was just solid. The crowd was that big that it almost got to Church Street, and it almost closed off Church Street as
Yeah, I
well.
remember.
Oh, God, it was unreal. And then, I never forget, there was these are things you always remember. There was a couple of Irish lads just on the street, and they go, "What the hell's this?" I said, "Oh, this and that." And they just, these Irish lads must have been just backpackers or something.
Yeah, they would have known.
Yeah, and they just went there just to join in, just to join in.
Why wouldn't you?
And then my son at the time, I don't, he was like early teens or something, and he goes, so he called me. He goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh," and by that point, like Swan Street was really messy, broken glass everywhere, and it was really bad. And they started, it was around, I don't know, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning or something. So we just decided to go home then. Next day we went back. Then, we took Monday off, and I'm walking down the street on Monday, Morty Alec. some guy just out of nowhere just got out of his car, hey, started talking to me, Tigers, this and that and the other. Went back to Richmond again on Monday.
Jesus.
And there were still people there partying.
Of course there was. Yeah.
So the 2019, we had a good year, 18, didn't make the grand final, lost to Collingwood. Then 19, made the grand final against GWS, absolutely smashed them, won it again. And Swan Street, it wasn't as better as 2017, but still celebrated the same. And then 2020 was COVID. They had the game in Brisbane.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I'm watching TV and I'm thinking, so how did those people get there? I'm sure, there's people that I recognise I see in the crowd from Melbourne,
Yeah, it was a lot of stories about people.
It
was a crazy time back then, wasn't it?
So then we won it then. And then, so I went to my mate's house and watched it there with him. I thought, I can't watch this by myself.
No.
So then I'm driving home and I'm in somewhere in Parkdale and I roll down my window in my car and just shout at the top of my voice, "Can't the Tigers," whatever. Just going on. And you could hear, it was that quiet. You could hear your voice just go everywhere.
Yeah.
And then there was a Geelong supporter I knew lived down the street. So I stopped out in front of his house and just go, "God, the Tigers." Just, whatever.
You antagonist.
Yeah, so...
Hey, man, we're going to wrap things up.
Yeah, go for it.
It's been a great experience.
Yeah.
What do you think you've got out of today's discussion? Has it been what you expected?
Yeah, it's been, look, it's been, like what I expected. You gave me the opportunity to talk about like a lot of things that I probably wouldn't normally talk with my wife and family, and I've done this in an open forum where everyone can see.
Yeah. No regrets?
No. I think it's something I probably needed to do. So when I saw this opportunity, I just quickly jumped at it.
What do you think you'll take from it?
Just what do I think that I'll take from it? Just to be myself, and I think I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with me. Just to be myself and just a lot more open. Just be a lot more open with the people that I'm actually around. Like a lot of the
people
time.
that matters.
Yeah,
the people that matter. Yeah,
which I'm not.
Yeah,
that's something I've identified. So. I've told a few people about what I was going to do today, and they're very interested. They want to, one guy in particular wants the link, and he wants to see it. So,
he'll see it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. I think we've got one more in the can, which will go out in 2 weeks, and yours will be probably 2 weeks after that. So we try to publish every 2 weeks. So we'll definitely keep them in the loop.
So as soon as it comes out, and then I'll, and I think as well, even the players, like at the soccer club, as well, my team, Cookie's team is just socialise, probably go out all the time, you probably met a lot of them as well, but my team is, I really take it seriously. I'm like their dad, like a lot of them, because they're all in their early 20s, most of them.
Yeah.
So, if they need anything, I'm always, keen to help them out and stuff like that, which is, that's me. That's me.
I can see that's your nature.
Yeah.
Of course. You got any questions for me?
Yeah. Questions. I don't know.
No, I'm not putting you on the spot. I mean, the thing is that we often have these conversations, and
we do.
People get to the point where they go, I was going to ask you such and such, and it's like,
the question for me would be, it's not so much of it's more of a statement. I think more and more men our age should be opening up about a lot of things. Okay. And about our internal health as well, which I've done. I talk openly about my, the fact I've got epilepsy as well.
I didn't know that. Didn't come up in conversation.
No, and I think that was one of the things that I forgot to write down.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't in it. That didn't come up at all.
No, and so I bring that up quite a bit.
So you've been dealing with that all your adult life?
Since the early 2000s.
Oh, so it's recent.
Yep.
As far as your journey's concerned.
I could have had it since birth, but I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
All I do know is that where my stuttering, which was a part of my childhood, comes from from that side of the brain.
Yeah.
As well. So that could have been a part of it.
Yeah.
But I've dealt with it.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I've dealt with it since, and I'm just having a normal life as long as I, keep taking certain medications and things like that.
Yeah.
But but other things like something came up internally, like some polyps in my gut.
Yeah.
And I had them cut out. But I actually encouraged other people to do it as well.
Well, yeah, we talk about the poo test and making sure that your colon's healthy.
Yep.
All that stuff when we get to our age, there's a certain checklist that you need to check off on a regular basis to make sure that you're healthy, because it's just so important. It's so important. And as I've said previously, it's like I don't want something coming up and just bite me on the bum because I've ignored it or I've ignored the signs. And I think, and I've said it several times.
Yeah, and
don't fucking ignore the.
No.
You should at this point in your life.
You should go and see your doctor.
You should understand how your body works. You should know when you're having an off day or a bad day. You know when you're fucking up, when you're down, and if something's not right, you should go see your doctor. And that's
And I go and see my doctor probably once every 6 months.
That's good. Yeah, yep, that's good. A lot of people do 12 months. That's fine.
Yeah. So I always go and see, always get a blood test, blood pressure, blood test. I'll do the poo test all the time.
Yeah.
If
PSA.
I have to, I'll do the camera again.
Yeah.
And I've decided to start giving blood.
Good.
And that's all a part of it. And that's it's not a question, it's more of a statement. I think a lot of us, I think there's a lot of men our age that are just too proud. They don't want to, no, I'll be fine. I'll continue going out. I think...
Ignorance is not bliss, mate, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's completely opposite.
That's all
Hey,
right.
we'll summing everything up for today. What do you want to leave us with? What words of wisdom or knowledge you want to bestow from this experience?
I found a book in an op shop a few weeks ago. It's just a book I bought for $2. I think someone just took it there and stuff like that. And the book is actually called The Kindness Revolution.
The Kindness
Revolution.
Yep.
And I've got it in the car. I'll show it to you later. And it's about, I think as a society now, the more and more people, that's my wisdom, the more and more people that are kind to each other, the better lives we'll live. And one of the biggest things that I've made statement is, I went out and bought an EV. Okay. Now I remember,
So you are gay.
Yeah. I got, if you, some guy, said to me once that I lost my balls. So,
I cracked, as soon as I said that, I heard Mav just crack out.
Yeah, I heard that. So I've made.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no.
It's so inappropriate from us.
That's a good or whatever. So my statement would be, we've got to think about our future, be kind to people and think about our future, and just think, well, you know what? if you're driving around a petrol guzzler for no reason, just why do it? And like I say to a lot of people, like EVs are not for everybody, right?
No, exactly. Otherwise, everybody would have them.
Yeah, so they're not for everybody, but don't knock it if you haven't tried it.
Yeah,
especially because that's another problem. Is people like to knock people that actually do something a little bit different. Like you don't have to...
I think it's becoming... I can understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. I think it's becoming more of a norm these days. Yeah. So you're conforming to a society that wants to be better. Would you not? Would you agree with that?
Yep.
And as you say, as humans, we just want to be better. We just want to be better people. And we should be better. We should be thinking about our fellow man, woman, and just being and
what the Japanese
just being nicer people.
Yeah, the Japanese. That's just we've got this Japanese player, and he as in like number one, his whole life is a culture of respect for everything.
Of course,
right, and so that's it.
Yeah.
So
that's what I love about Japan.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
A high level of respect.
And me, I'm like, oh, hang on, I've done something wrong, Like, on a note, this guy I know is a bit of a thug, all right, but he's quite funny. I'm always hanging, shit on him, and he drives around a big like petrol guzzler, diesel, whatever. Yeah. And when I told him that I bought an EV, he goes, Matteo, what have you done? You lost your balls, haven't you? Now, I've hardly heard boo out of him, because I can imagine. But anyway, that's what I say to people. Let's just be kind to everybody.
Yeah, it's a good message.
That's it. Just be kind. Not everybody's having a great day.
Yeah. Everybody's dealing with something.
Yeah, if you want to go out and be a prick, just seriously, just, I don't know, just go and do it somewhere where there's other pricks. You can be pricks together, whatever.
Exactly.
So,
hey, mate, it's been a pleasure today.
Yeah, it's been great.
I hope you got everything out of the experience that you thought you were going to do.
Yep.
And as I've said to previous guests, maybe I should start charging you guys for counselling.
Yeah. It's not cheap. It costs me $200 an hour.
Yeah. Maybe that's how I can make money with the podcast.
Yeah, you can do that.
Mate, it's not about the money. It's about the experience. And as I said, I hope today that you've learned something or you've realised something about your own existence and you've added to the value of whoever's listening to this, which is our job done. So once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's get out of here, mate. We'll go have a beer somewhere.
All right, let's go and have a beer.
That's a wrap, Mav.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in and for your time. You know the vibe, I'm steady living until I die. It's a lewd state of mind and we showed you that. Keep it authentic and real, I hope you coming back. Hey, make sure that you subscribe, cause we got it popping all the time, man, it's going down. If you wanna elevate, wanna live a better life, keep it locked here. You know it's a lewd state of mind, let's go.